open, red hot Nielson show. Let's go. Daddy likes. Everybody's tuning in, even my wife.
Mommy likes too.
How dude.
And those Macromella intros are cutting like a knife. Hey, it's Mitch texting in. He's your dealer for life. Let's crack at 6 o'clock and log you with some sirloin bites.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the AM Nasty. Thank you very much for joining us. If you're watching on YouTube, hammer that subscribe, hammer the thumbs up. We would appreciate it. If you're listening on TuneIn or, of course, at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, you will now know we are coming at you from Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge, where we were last night for the Super Bowl party, and what a party it was. Let's move that up a little bit there. There we go.
What say you?
What say you? Indeed,
AM Nasty
buddy.
crew.
Yeah. It was a good time last night. Real fun time. Like, this was an amazing Super Bowl party last night. We had a lot of fun.
Screens isn't working.
Yeah, I mean, classic. You know, it always happens.
It
It
happens.
happens.
Yeah.
It was
Sign of a good party.
It was a lot of fun. We're going to break down the game. We're going to break down the halftime show. If you need a conch this morning, let us know why. Paris Jewelers inbox 780-218-9999. Maybe the best part of the weekend.
Oh, the best part of the weekend.
Bumping in to the boys at Boston Pizza on Saturday night and bringing us like whistle-sized little conches. These things are great. I like to blow it light. I like to blow it light, but it's awesome. Love it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We still got the regular conch too, but yeah, we're good. Greg is in. It says, Lieutenant Eric, have you had your IV bag yet today?
Not yet. Renee's working on it though. She's the most gracious host here. She'll be getting all the liquids ready to go.
It was.
It's kind of sound like Renee though.
I mean,
hey?
these guys
not,
know
not this
you
Renee,
do
but
sound like
the
our
original Renee. Hey?
Yeah. There was not a table to be had here last night. It was a lot of fun. The place was absolutely packed. AM Nasties absolutely everywhere. Food deals were delicious. I think Northside Sandwich says, do these guys even have a studio anymore? We do have a studio.
Doesn't feel like
and
it.
we will be back in it a little bit later on today. But all of our shows, or tomorrow, all of our shows today are coming from this stage right here in the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge, where we had you spent a lot of time here this year. Mondays and Thursdays. You really fell in love with this place, didn't you?
I did, and didn't unfortunately spend as much time last night as I wanted to, as things get out of hand, but that's okay. Great host, great place. If you missed out yesterday, you did miss out. This was the Super Bowl party. You didn't want to miss this one, but hopefully next year, the Monday and Thursday nighters, and maybe even the Sundays, great place to consume football. Great place to do anything sports-wise, fantasy drafts, anything. The TV wrap, if you just experienced it yesterday for the first time, you know what I'm talking about. Centric Casino Sports Bar and Lounge. It's a real thing, and it's legit. And I think for all the people yesterday, that was certainly testified in their eyes, right? Like that type of thing. The TV wrap is great. The service great. The food, the drink, the 6 o'clock lager. The cans were flowing.
Oh, everything. I don't know how many cans.
I'd like to get a count. I'd like to get an unofficial count.
We went through last night. I mean, the Godfather was here. Glue Guy was having the absolute time of his life.
He was on a heater.
Oh, Glue Guy was.
To end all heaters.
Glue Guy might still be around here somewhere. We're not even sure. The last I saw Glue Guy, his wife was saying, "Don't come home, stay at the casino." So I don't know. I don't know if he ended up staying here or not. But like I said, we do have a lot to get to. We've got the Oilers losing to the Kings just a few days after also losing to the Golden Knights. People in full-blown panic again. Is it justified? We'll get into that as we work our way through the show today as well. Morgan Riley doing something you can only understand if you played the game. We'll get into those takes as well.
You aren't a professional
I'm not
hockey
a professional
player.
hockey
How dare
player.
you get into the take?
Don't you have an opinion on this? You didn't even play the game, you coward. We'll get into that as we work our way through the show today as well. Mike Johnson is actually going to join us today. Dregs couldn't make it, but MJ's going to pop in today. We'll catch up with him later in the week as well. Mike Tenier still scheduled to pop by as well. I says pardon, good and bad and ugly from the weekend. We've got lots to get to on the show today. You can text us anytime in the Paris Jewelers inbox where they have a Valentine's Day gift for any budget. And Valentine's Day is just around the corner. I have to do a little VD shopping myself. It's been busy. We've been busy.
Well, after the show, no better time, hey? Head over to PJ's.
Yeah, maybe
and,
a slide on in. Go see our crew at PJ's, and they will look after you. Can check it out, www.parisjewelers.com. Flexible financing options for everyone as well. Do not pay until 2025. And, text us. Try to get in the mix for text of the day today. All right, there's a lot to get to.
Oh.
There's a lot that you can use for ammo today.
Yeah, the Super Bowl sucked.
Yeah. I got to throw this out there. Where is YouTube Trev? We can play that game today.
Is he MIA?
Is he MIA? He's supposed to be sitting right there. But
No.
Maddie's sitting there. What do you mean is he MIA?
Matt. Well, I'm just so used to the Vegas shows.
I know.
Setting
Well,
up.
in
I thought
Vegas,
this
we
was
had Maddie with us.
So Trev's supposed to be here right now.
Yeah.
And we
Trev.
don't know any clue where he is.
Trev is supposed to be working.
Okay,
right
well,
but,
now, yeah. Well,
So there's how you get him
Okay.
for mixed text of the day. Where
There
in the
you go.
world is YouTube Trev?
Easy win.
He was here tonight. We think he's somewhere within the hotel, but we're also not 100% sure
Okay.
if he's somewhere within the hotel.
Check the parkade.
So best places to find YouTube Trev this morning in this city. 780-218-9999. You could end up winning text of the day for A&W, where they've got another new deal.
What?
Let me get the A&W
For today,
song locked
of
and
all
loaded.
days?
Oh, it's just
Oh, my
starting today.
goodness. Oh, my goodness.
It's just starting today.
Breaking news.
We got to get
Hit
into
the breaking
this.
news.
Got to get into this.
There it is.
Well, this ought to spice things up. That's what it says. A&W is introducing their new spicy Piri Piri Buddies.
I
And
says
they're-
pardon.
Yeah. Piri Piri Buddies. Only $3.99. Each burger features the new spicy Piri Piri sauce, layers of crisp whole leaf lettuce, sliced tomatoes, red onions, all served on your choice of a chicken patty, beef patty, or hash brown patty. Tell your buddies the new spicy Piri Piri Buddy. Just $3.99. Zip through the drive-thru.
That sounds like a winner. That's a winning play today.
How's that,
Show, hey? Like,
That sounds real nice. Look at Matty Wanek rolling out monitors here.
I love it.
Zacticum
This is amazing.
was up late with the boys, but he's working with the men this morning.
Up with the big dogs, eh?
Isn't that the saying?
Yeah.
That's the saying.
How the big dogs.
Last time I saw Zacticum, it was like 1:30. He was still at the blackjack tables with the glue guy.
Are you, Zach,
and
just
the Godfather.
up or down?
Oh, you're
Oh,
down.
yeah,
You're doing
Two
so
thumbs
well.
down. Two thumbs down.
You were doing so well. The sailor's in and says, Trev is having beers with me on my couch in the Hammer. He made it all the way out to Hamilton. Greg, that's a good one. You should text that one in, Greg. Trev is hanging out in HR Daddy's room getting a lecture on budgeting and investments. That sounds about right. Nice drop for HR Daddy. Coming to town this weekend. Yeah.
Now, is this a business trip
Just
now
drop
that
this
he
one
has
on
to
you.
kind of...
Well, it's going to be. Well, consider like we were at Vegas today, we're at the casino. I think HR Daddy want to come. He
He's
wants to
gotta-
come and reel things back in.
Yeah.
HR Daddy wants to reel things back in.
We're getting a little loose here.
So he's probably on
Yeah.
his way.
Well, tell him to bring my voice with him if he
Yeah.
can. I'd love that.
I got this today.
So deep.
You hang in
I'm
there.
so deep.
You
No,
hang in
I
there.
will be
You hang in
here. I have you.
there. Yeah. Stony from Stony. What a name. Trevor is probably just walking around wide-eyed, looking at all the tall buildings in the city, and I'm just blown away.
I've never seen such bright lights
He
in this
walked.
casino.
He walked in here last night. He was like, "I've never seen so many slot machines. This is unreal."
He also came with the gift, the girlfriend, and Jay gave them a big announcement as well, heading
Did they?
into the bar. Did you miss that?
Oh yeah. When they
Jay
got here,
heralded them in.
Glue Guy was all like, "Everybody, YouTube Trev and his girlfriend," and she got like a standing ovation. We were all like, it was terrific. Trev is sleeping under the hangover haze of Eric's rum breath.
Man, Yeah.
Oh, Lacombe Drew. This might be the text of the day right here. YouTube Trev and Lieutenant Eric's voice have run away together.
Seems like it. Shine on, you crazy
Oh,
diamonds.
that's a good one. Let me say that one. That's going to get in the mix for sure. All right. I don't know who we're going to see again first. YouTube Trev or Rashog. Guy bailed again today. That's 3 Mondays in a row. He is gallivanting around the world. I think he's in Saskatoon today.
Saskatoon. We saw
Anyway.
Jack Michaels down in Vegas. I think
Yeah.
they were on the vacation together, hey?
Yeah, they were on a
Now,
vacation together. Shoggy's still doing something.
Still on vacation.
Yeah,
hey?
and they
Still-
don't have internet in Saskatoon, so
Must be
he's
something. No, you
unable
can't.
to join us.
Yeah.
But we'll get to Ice's pardon there as well. And man, that was a great text, Lacombe Drew. Keep those rolling in. Where is YouTube Trev today? So we'll get in on that one. Library Pat says, I'm very curious to hear Mystic Mike today, both on the Oilers and Morgan Riley. Glad to hear you guys today. Eric, you've had quite the last week.
We've all had quite the last week.
Yes, we have. We have. But this is a great setup here. They've got us on like a raised up sort of stage, good looking TV in behind us.
Vegas.
What a
This ain't
setup.
no Vegas show, hey?
What
This
a
is
setup.
Century Casino, sports bar and lounge. Spare
I
no
think
expense.
somebody's vacuuming right now.
Yeah, somebody's vacuum.
They're getting this place clean.
Those waters. Oh,
Clean to hit the
look at this.
tables again.
Look at this.
My goodness.
Are you serious?
I don't do those anyway. I got my tea. Look at this thing. Now this is a Virgin Caesar that
You got
Renee
this
has put
going
together
here.
for this guy.
Look at this.
It has, is that shrimp?
It looks like a little shrimp, a little tomato, a
A little pickle.
pickle.
And then
What was that? Chicken?
chicken.
Amazing.
That'll get you back on track.
I
Just a little
love the
Virgin
entire
Caesar.
staff. This is great. Yeah, this will get
That's
the voice
great.
going again.
All right, you can text us anytime, 780-218-9999. Let me lay out the show for you. I'm trying to figure out where we start today. Do we start with the Super Bowl because, it's the Super Bowl? Yeah, I'll take one of those waters
Yeah,
too,
those
Zach. to
waters
get
are
me.
looking
Do we start with the
delicious.
Super Bowl because it's a Super Bowl, or do we start with the Oilers losing to the Kings, their nemesis, Steinbach?
their nemesis.
They got him.
A pair of nemesis as
Where
well
do-
the Golden Knights over that trip too. Like
Yeah.
two good teams, right?
Where do you want us to start today? Super Bowl, Oilers, Morgan Riley being an idiot, or somewhere else? Oily Sink says the people need the conch whistle. Yeah, I've already been like, we got to get these for people. Somebody suggested yesterday. It was at Boston Pizza on Saturday. We should sell these with, if you buy a 6 o'clocker lager, you get a conch whistle.
Oh, it would go over a dream. These are great.
That would be pretty amazing, wouldn't it?
I think we have the purveyor of the conch whistle as well texting in this morning. 780-218-9999. Just got to find the text, but it was a birthday of sorts at Boston Pizza on Saturday night.
Yeah, a bunch of birthdays.
Yeah, absolutely. So we thank for whoever provided the conch on the string whistle type of thing. But he's in here somewhere. I'll find him.
We'll have a sports update coming up here around 6:30. Good, bad, and ugly from the weekend before 7 o'clock. Just after 7 o'clock today, Mike Johnson will pop by. Your Cool Bet hotline of the day. I hit one of my Cool Bet parlays yesterday. I realized this morning when I woke up.
Yeah, the
I
breaking
hit,
news.
I hit. It actually paid relatively well. It was like a bet builder I put together over at Cool Bet that was about just over 3-1. And it was very simple. It was Patrick Mahomes with 1 passing touchdown, MVS with 2 catches, Chiefs plus 7.5, and the under 57. It was terrific. So I was happy. I was happy hitting that bad boy. That was a nice one last night. Outside of that, I don't know if I hit anything else, but that was nice to wake up to in the old account this morning over at Coolbet. Mike Tenier is going to be by. Kind of easy trivia for Mr. Mike's 3 questions too many for Park Mazda. I says pardon.
Pardon.
We'll get to that as we work our way through the show today as well.
YouTube Trev is back climbing the sphere again, perhaps.
Oh,
Off his first venture earlier in the week.
Maybe that's
Hey?
where he is. I cannot wait for the conversation with Trev later. He's going to say sorry about it.
Well, the conversation
times.
Maddie and him have
Oh,
to
yeah.
have.
Well, that's what a COO does. Hey, what say you?
What say you? Hey, nasty crew. We got the Nielson trouble flu. Well, there's nothing we can do about it. What say you? Hey, nasty crew. My wife thinks I got better things to do, but there's nothing I can do about it. We're tuning in on TuneIn, we're listening online. We catch up with the podcast when we fall behind. We're texting in the nasty chat, what's on our mind. 780-218-9999. No more interference from corporate interest. Just Tati and Eric and all of the bad cats. Like Brzezinski and Noodles, Gadget and Gage. Maybe just Bubba to Kuban to make a little wager. We can't wait for the Monday Mandate. Sharky's always on time. Tommy's always late. Forget about the old place. Hey, we were number one in the text race. We don't miss all the commercial breaks, but we sure miss Nickelback today. We want to hear some hot takes and we want to hear Renee. Why not hold the neck up when I want to kiss away? Beat left the tire fire and remember that name. We love every goal song, but what about the games? Macramel, Rapaport, Dragger and Tenier. It ain't Christmas season, but they sound like reindeer. Button and my cousin and the tales of the North. I'll put him give a present. Does he go forth? What say you? AM Nasty Crew. We got the Nielson Show flu. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it.
And we had to hit that
Yes,
because we had that Thursday in Vegas.
Too long, yeah.
And, we didn't get to play it Friday because we weren't in Friday morning. That's a banger. That's in the mix for an Esty. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
It's going to be absolutely that's a banger on the show moving forward. And there's nothing you can do about it.
Just when you think John T has hit all the high notes.
I
right?
know.
Like, yeah.
I know. Too good. All right, let's start with the Super Bowl. We got to go there because
I mean, we can start with Nick Taylor if you want. Waste management.
Well, I was gonna
As
get
the
to that.
bar was captivated.
It
Super
was.
Bowl going on, but you had the waste management going on, and we were good 85% of the bar was
people were on
that,
Nick Taylor,
which was nice to see.
That was nice to see, actually.
I started singing the anthem.
Might come back around
Nobody
to that
joined
on
me,
the
but-
good, bad, or ugly. Yeah, you did. You did start singing the
The
anthem,
first
didn't
line,
you?
and you wait for people to come in.
What a finish there. That was
Totally.
great. So Super Bowl was interesting, like extremely memorable with the way it finished. First half though was an absolute dud.
The finish memorable, but you're
Yeah,
right. I mean,
first
we can
half
forget
was a
everything
dud.
else. Just go straight to the overtime. It seems maybe start at the halftime if you will, but
Yeah. The second half certainly was better.
yeah.
But an excellent finish. Patrick Mahomes having an outstanding game. 333 yards, 2 touchdowns, an interception, but was the leading rusher for the Chiefs as well. 9 carries for 66 yards. Bottom line is Patrick Mahomes simply found a way to get it done. His passing touchdowns to MVS, who a lot of you would probably bet on, and Hardman. So it's not like, now Travis Kelce had 9 catches, so Travis Kelce was still heavily involved. On the other side, Christian McCaffrey was exactly what you thought Christian McCaffrey would be. 160 combined yards, had the touchdown as well. He was excellent in that game. I do see people saying Chiefs dynasty, 3 titles in 5 years, including the back-to-backs now. That might be good enough for a modern-day dynasty.
A modern-day
dynasty.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to see a run off 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Then I think it's non-debatable. I think right now Chiefs dynasty is probably somewhat debatable. If you want to chime in here, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Nas26 is in and says, Kelce seems like a dope, predicting Swift dumps him before the start of next season. Whoa. I thought it might go the other way, and there might be wedding bells in their future.
No proposal, correct? I didn't miss anything. There was no proposal, no nothing else, no breakup, I guess, yet.
No proposal.
So everything's as is. They go celebrate the Super Bowl, and away we go.
Loomis is in and says, isn't a dynasty 3 titles in 4 years? That's why I hear 3 and 5. I go, man, I'm not technically sure.
A little light.
That gets us the dynasty conversation.
Diet dynasty, maybe, hey?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe that's what you're looking at. And there's nothing you can do about it.
Darren Below and his wife's birthday and his best buddy Adam. Those are the people that supplied us with the. Just wanted to give them some credit. Yeah.
Halftime show. We're getting to the halftime show here. when you're out and the place is busy, you don't get to like sit down and focus. I texted my wife. She said the kids loved it, but the kids love any sort of live show.
Sure.
I'm sure the Muzz was pretending to be Usher for the rest of the night. It would have been great.
Putting on a little hat.
But I don't know. Were you sitting next to me when Luda showed up? That's when first I was like, Little John.
You stood up.
And then I was like, God, Ludacris, the guy from the Fast and the Furious. There he is. It was, I thought that really sort of, I don't want to say saved, because I thought Usher was super sweaty. He was dancing extremely well. He had various outfits, quick changes. It was that aspect of it was pretty good.
It was the pop you didn't see coming, though. There was going to be a pop. There was something we didn't see coming, and that was
Alicia Keys
Luda.
with this awesome-looking piano.
Sure.
That was terrific. But then when Little John hit with a classic, and then Ludacris comes out and takes it to another level.
Say that again, Little John with a classic?
Lil Jon and Luda.
And a classic.
Yeah.
A classic from Little John.
I'm starting to think that Usher knows a lot of people.
He's connected in that business. I guess they all kind of have a big Rolodex of numbers. But it was you had to think that it wasn't just Usher going up there and performing.
No,
Usher,
I mean, he couldn't just go up and dance in really cool
Hello,
ways.
I'm Usher, yeah.
How jacked is he when he took off his shirt?
Well, he's keeping fit.
Holy smokes.
Yeah. No, it's good to see.
Keep it on for the rest of us, Usher. That was...
Well, conch to Ludacris, I guess. Maybe.
Yeah, conch to Luda.
Luda.
They call him Luda.
Luda.
Turned down for what? That was a pretty good... I don't know. I'll give it... I mean, grade the halftime show for us. Like, especially if you watched it at home and you could actually listen to, like, the songs and stuff.
Get the choreography down and all
from
that.
an overall just soaking it up, I'm probably at, like... Now, I do like Ludacris and Lil Jon. So, I mean, I'm probably like a 7.
You're slanted a bit, yeah.
I'm probably like a 7.
Yeah. Give me the Reba McEntire performance any day.
I missed Reba. I was on the way here from Marshall's first Big Ice game.
She was looking good. She was all dolled up, performed well, and I know that there was a table here. They must have had the over or the under, because when she finished, it was just this chorus of "Oh my God!" Like,
well, I heard because she added another.
That's what it was. Well, then that's what it. Yeah.
Greasy move by Reba.
Yeah,
but
Reba.
Shouldn't surprise you if you listen to the Achy Breaky podcast. She's a bit of a fraud. Yeah. We've said it multiple times. Some of her biggest hits are just remakes of other people's songs.
I mean, even the Star Spangled Banner, that's a cover in itself, right? It's not
there's
no
Reba.
original
There's
material.
Reba doing another cover. Unbelievable.
As is. Was it just me, or did anyone else feel that Usher shook his pelvis at the camera one too many a time? Your thoughts on that?
He was
a little provocative for the
I don't know.
summertime crowd?
I'm trying to think. I guess I have a tough take on this one, but...
We've seen more lewd halftime shows, I guess, in the past, have we not?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I could view it the one way, but I wonder if, like, the ladies find that sexy from Usher?
Yeah,
I'm not too
When you
sure.
mention his physique, and I could totally see how that kind of cuts through.
Bill, the teacher's in and says, "Morning, boys. You sound rough. I hope it's due to a late night and not illness." Bill, the teacher, thank you very much for caring about us.
That's a
great.
teacher speak there.
It's definitely not illness. In fact, I think I've been getting better. I told you on Saturday, I was like, I have this cough.
Yeah.
It's from the smoke in the casinos in Vegas.
The old Vegas flu, I think we were kind of...
But I'm back now.
I feel great.
Yeah. I feel absolutely...
I feel spectacular. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it was terrific.
Yeah. So thank you, Bill, the teacher.
Yeah, I like how you... looking out for us.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
That was good. Bones is in and says, "Why did Kelsey try to kill Andy Reid? Thought he had a heart attack."
Yeah, that's a
second.
GIF meme thing going on. Hey, what was he saying? Give me the ball or something?
Sure, yeah, well, I guess he wanted to stay in the game or something.
Yeah. One of those moments. Yeah, he's a player. Guy's a player.
Just because your girlfriend's watching doesn't mean you act like a jerk at work.
Exactly.
Right? That's different.
That's a good point.
I think that's a little bit different. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. So we remember this Super Bowl for Patrick Mahomes' game-winning drive in overtime. I mean, it's
the overtime game. Patrick Mahomes takes the Chiefs on the road, as they did throughout the playoffs, right? Slaying that road dragon that was hanging over their head. I'm all right with the Diet Dynasty talk. Maybe you could argue, add another, but
it's a fun debate.
Doing
today,
it on
right?
the road though this year, and when things were stacked against him, and people saying, "Oh, Kelsey's washed. He's going to run for president. He's going to retire from football." Whatever the case is, all the Swift. I mean, other teams maybe let that Swift stuff kind of get the best of you. They took it. They rode with it. They won the Super Bowl. That's That's something to be said. You raise a banner for that. Diet Dynasty, I'm here for it. Winning on the road, though, and going through the path that they did for this Super Bowl as opposed to the others, that's where I give this one the credit.
Yeah, that's where it's different.
This was a journey. Yeah. This was a journey.
Phil from a balcony in Banff this morning says, Usher, the 80s called. They want Michael Jackson back.
Oh, no. Well,
yeah.
Well.
I thought, was he doing like a tribute? Was he doing a tribute to MJ? Is that what that was?
Was it with the hat?
Because he had the glove.
The scarecrow
and he had
hat.
some of the quick little hip movements. I thought maybe there was a little bit of a MJ tribute in there. I don't know.
Did Janet Jackson make an appearance?
No.
Okay.
No,
because that was on the short list of props, but I mean, would have made sense with the Michael Jackson type of.
Yeah. Who's the Super Bowl favorite next year?
They had those up at the just
Were they
right
already
now.
up?
Just had the odds up. Niners.
It would have been the Niners are the Super Bowl favorite.
The nemesis.
Well, people never learn their lesson.
Well,
I mean, how is it not the Chiefs?
They got to get over the hump once in a while, right?
They just went back to back. Shout out to everybody who got on the Chiefs as a Super Bowl dog. Like, unbelievable. Zacticum, you were on him, weren't you? Yeah, Zacticum.
Big winner.
He was just started recently betting at Cool Bet, and he was on the Chiefs last night.
Love it.
So that worked out. That worked out pretty darn well. But yeah.
Jocelyn chimes in 780-218-9999. I'm not the target audience for halftime, but the sound was not good, and the shirt off and Usher's hips were a no for me.
Wow, even the ladies.
Yeah, well,
I'm gonna have to talk to my wife.
It's a flavor, right?
And see what she thinks.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was kind of sexy.
Tammy's been waiting to lay it down for like.
Yeah. What do you think?
Usher.
What do you think of Usher?
Lil Jon wearing a Golden Knights Stanley Cup ring was not a prop bet I thought about going after. But what are you going to do about it?
Did he? I didn't even notice that.
Comes in from Lacombe Drew. Yeah, I didn't see that either.
The nemesis.
Joey Bielak has it. He turns back. Looks like they're doing a little reverse that you might see in football. And here comes Bazin. He's got some speed. Split the D. Oh, what's he going to do? He's shooting a roof, Daddy. Oh, look at that. Look at this, look at that. And there's the speed, and the old banana splitting Rudy. And, Vernon is rejoices their nemesis, Steinbach. They get him in overtime. Roof Daddy. As Bazin kept chugging as his speed helped split the D.
Yes, it did. Also, shout out to Huss. He's down in Mexico at a buddy's wedding.
Happy birthday, Huss.
He texted me last night. He goes, as soon as they won in overtime, I pulled out the luchador mask and I started drinking the most expensive tequila. And he was having a great time. Huss was having an absolute great time.
Huss is living.
Down in Mexico last night, for sure. Georgia Satellite's in and says the halftime show was straight fire. Take a seat, haters. Good. I like that. I like this. Like I said, I gave it a 7. That's good. 7's good. 7's fine. 7 passes. You get to go to post-secondary with a steady diet of 7s. So I thought that was okay. If you are watching on YouTube, subscribe. Hammer that thumbs up today.
Hit the like.
Yeah, come on. Give us a like. It helps in the algorithm. Goes a long way. Mike Johnson's going to pop by coming up here. We'll get MJ's thoughts on the Oilers. I thought Naz26 had an interesting point in the old nasty chat today, and you can chime in the Paris Jewelers inbox. But what do you say? Basically, like the streak doesn't mean anything anymore, right? Like they've dropped 2 of 3 since.
Oh, here we are.
They lost.
Here
to
we
the
are
Golden
now.
Knights. They lost to the Golden Knights.
So the streak. So that last point of the streak, where you're beating teams that are out of kind of the playoff picture and beating them by like a goal or 2 here, maybe taking a period off, maybe taking 2 off. Now we're here. Hey, interesting. Feel a little salty now. I don't know if it's the Virgin Caesar or my voice, but I'm just kind of like, okay, Golden Knights and Kings. Hey, yeah, you beat the Ducks, but.
I mean, I can see why fans would be like, yeah, 16 in a row is great. But then, like, the 2 teams you always want to beat.
I know.
If you're the Oilers, the Kings.
Division.
And the Golden Knights.
Division rivals.
And you lose to them. So.
You're a nemesis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are you at on that? You can hit us up, 780-218-9999. We'll get into it. Like, what was the most concerning thing about the Oilers' loss to the Los Angeles Kings?
Or just a new coach bump.
The old Jim Hiller bump. Is
Everybody
that what it
loves
was?
a Hiller bump.
Is that what it was?
I mean, you're not going to subscribe to the getting goalied theory from Saturday
nope.
night. Nope. And
Nope,
you
definitely not.
You laid that down.
Got to
Saturday
save it,
night.
David? Isn't that what you were? Is that what you're
Big
calling him?
Save It David.
Yeah, Big Save It
You
David.
got it. Savey Davy.
All right, let's get to a sports update for Green Plan. We're going to dive into this Oilers conversation coming up next. If you continue want to chime in on Super Bowl or the halftime show, feel free, 780-218-9999. Good, bad, and ugly from the weekend still to come as well before 7 o'clock. Let's get this guy a sip of his Virgin Caesar and into an update.
Kansas City Chiefs back-to-back Super Bowl champions. Patrick Mahomes tossed a 3-yard touchdown pass to McCole Hardman in overtime. Chiefs rallied to beat the 49ers 25-22. On the course, Nick Taylor made an 11-foot birdie putt to beat Charlie Hoffman on the second hole of a playoff after birdieing 3 of the last 4 in regulation, capping another wild weekend at the Phoenix Waste Management Open with his second memorable victory. Taylor closing with a 6-under 65. In the NHL yesterday, Blues smoked Montreal 7-2. St. Louis have won 7 of 8. Canucks over the Caps 3-2 in overtime. JT Miller with the winner. Oilers back home to host Detroit tomorrow night. Grand Prairie over Drayton Valley 3-2 in the lone AJHL game. Action will resume tomorrow with a pair. Raptors on the court tonight. It's one of 10 games around the NBA. Sports update brought to you by Green Plan. With construction season coming up around the corner, planning season is already in full swing. For all of your environmental planning needs, contact Green Plan Environmental Consultants. Green Plan can assist with any of your environmental concerns, no matter how big or small the project. Green Plan is here to help. Check them out today at green-plan.com.
Hey Pete, hey Polo, tell them what you did. It was a big blockbuster made cause Ebbs was lackluster, so in the end he just had to go. Yeah, that sounds about right. They sent him to New York and they landed Ryan Strome. Now he's got a song on the show. Right. He does all kinds of drills that give you all kinds of thrills, but the thrill he's never known is a thrill like he's dreaming. All the fans are screaming. It's another goal for Ryan Strome. Ryan Strome. Wanna see him dangle Ryan Suter. Strome. Wanna see him be 97 shooter. Yeah. Strome. Wanna see that smiling face. It's another goal for Ryan Strome. That's a very, very good thing.
We know this sexy old lady named Renee, baby, who likes to wear men's jeans. She's got a Ryan Strome Road jersey, and it's bursting right at the seams.
Now this song's designed to blow your mind, but your minds won't really be blown like the blow you'll be feeling at Rogers Place, screaming. It's another goal for Ryan Strome. Ryan Strome. Wanna see him dangle Ryan Suter. Strome. Wanna see him be 97 shooter. Strome. Wanna see that smiling face. It's another goal for Ryan Strome.
That's a very, very good thing.
A very, very good.
Thought I'd mix
I'm
that
loving
in
this
there
voice.
today.
I wish I could keep this for eternity.
Yeah, if this was new, you could start reading 6 o'clock news somewhere.
I could be an operator on a 1-900 number or something, right? Like
780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. All right, let's get into, by the way, all of our songs are brought to you by Sport Ball. Spring registration up right now. Kids love goal songs. Kids love Sport Ball. That's just the way it is. www.sportball.ca for more info on all the sports programs they offer. But if you're looking for a way to get your kid into sports, that's the way to do it. That is the way to do it with our great partners over at Sport Ball. Renato Canada in and says, good morning, boys, looking fantastic this AMS. Yeah, we are. Thanks,
this
man.
is great.
That does mean a lot. Another glass of water.
Renee's killing it.
Renee's
just killing it.
Yeah, she's here just making sure everything's working smooth
Props
today.
to the pit crew. Renee, she's got the donuts, the drinks. Zach's here. Zacticum.
We still don't know where YouTube Trev is.
And the texts are flying in. 780-218-9999.
Where is YouTube Trev today?
Like, we honestly don't know, right? Like,
Well,
this
I
isn't a
saw
bit.
him 4 hours ago.
Okay.
It was a later-ish night here at the casino. We had a great time. I was not expecting. Like, I had more fun last night than we did in Vegas.
That's a good point.
No, it was. I don't know why. It was just
because
like,
we got to be up at like 5:30 instead
yeah,
of 4:30.
that's true too. It was a little bit different. A little bit of a different sleeping. But we lost YouTube, Trev. He's gone.
That's it. I mean, there's nothing else.
He is.
He's out.
He
He's
is
out of
gone.
there, yeah.
All right. So they win 16 in a row. Everything's what is it? Peachy keen.
Hunky dory.
Hunky dory's a good
that's
one.
a good-
Everything's hunky dory. And then you lose to the Golden Knights, but you're like, you watch that game. We were at that game.
We had the
and you're like,
hangout next day.
Yeah.
I want to kind of salt it all.
Maddie all over Aiden Hill, loves Aiden Hill. But you watch that game and you're like, okay, yeah, I thought they could have won that game, right? They were a little bit. Couldn't say they were the better team.
Anybody wins it, yeah.
Had
It's
more
one of those-
high danger chances, all
Sure.
that fun stuff. And then they beat the Ducks. But let's be honest. I mean, who's not beat the Ducks?
As you should.
Yeah.
You should.
And then they get the Los Angeles Kings, and kind of lay a dud.
Yeah, and
Some people were describing it as Connor McDavid like one of the worst 5 games of his career.
Well,
And I thought, he was off. I thought he was off, but
he was off. It was one of your 3 final thoughts on the game. Look, the Kings were floundering, and first game back, new coach. I'm not making excuses. I'm just simply stating reasons, and perhaps that's one of them. Now, it is worrisome though. The 2 of 3 now against teams that are in the thick of it in the Pacific and the West. I was saying that nobody wanted to hear it during the winning streak, and you say, okay, well, don't. There's nothing to complain about, but now we're here, and now you have 2 teams that you're jostling with for playoff position, and you drop them. One really close, one in convincing fashion, shutout, right? It was a shutout, correct? I'm not.
yeah.
So that's something that hasn't happened in a long time. Talk about a loss. You haven't been shut out in a long time.
Well, so some people said the most so we're asking today, what's the most concerning thing about the Oilers' loss to the Kings? 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Jeff from Hamilton's in and says, it sucks losing to the Kings and Knights, but remember, they've already beat both of them this season. Not the end of the world.
Good point.
And Usher was phenomenal. Rang off hit after hit. I thought it was great.
Well, good point there, too.
All right, so we've got that going. During the 16-game winning streak, the Oilers beat 0 first to 5th place teams, 1 5th to 10th place team, 3 10 to 15th place teams, 2 15th to 20th place teams, and 10 20 to 32nd place teams.
That's a big number.
So they beat, but they won them all.
I know.
Right? So
but
I think you have to respect that.
You respect it, and you take the points, but again, when you're playing a period here or a period there and taking a period off and all these things, like this is where it kind of catches up to you, in a sense. Jason says, Oilers are easy to play against defensively. Other teams aren't worried to go to the net.
Yeah, I mean there was the one play.
Yeah.
Was it Adrian Kempe? Good player.
Great.
I think was it Kempe? Anyway, one of the guys, and I tweeted about it at the time, just walked right around Bouchard. Right around him. It was like a kind of a one-on-one, and Bouchard was just like, they got right by him. I mean, you got to play a little bit better than that. This text is in and says, number one concern for me is that 90% of the players on that team give a bleep meter seems to be empty right now.
Well, it's a long haul, that win streak, and maybe you need a bit of a dip now to get back into things. I don't
Foot off the gas just because the streak has got you back into the conversation.
Exactly, yeah, there's a subconscious thing there. But, I mean, the Kings, too, in all their right, I know the coaching change and how they were sputtering, but a hell of a start to the season, almost the antithesis of the Oilers as well, when they started so hot and now they're kind of going off a bit. But St. Louis now, they've won a couple. It's still busy there in that Western wild card.
Oh, yeah.
Regardless of the Oilers rifling off, however many wins in a row. But 7 points back of the Golden Knights, 4 games in hand, 3 up on the Kings and Blues right now. So
Spruce Grove Corey says we should remember that this Kings team was built to beat Edmonton in the playoffs, which shouldn't be a problem this year. Guys, can I get a conch for my new favorite word? Split-a-rooney. That comes from Jason and Leduc today. I have a list of a few things here from this game. McDavid did not have a good game. The blue line shuffle still doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
When they did that last week, we were trying to figure out what was the driving reason behind the old blue line shuffle.
And maybe you're just bored.
Well, part of it is Knobloch just being like,
Yeah.
everything's going
Gotta do
insanely well.
something.
What else should we do?
This will get him talking.
Yeah.
Check this out.
Maybe that's
Yeah.
maybe that's what it is.
You wanted to get it on that hot and heavy, though, Monday morning on the Hangout, I think. We never really got to it, but the pairings.
Yeah, I did. I wanted to get
You
into
were
it
really
on Friday
wanting
on
to
the
dive
Hangout.
into it, so maybe. Or Friday, yeah.
Friday
it
I
was.
wanted to get to Friday on the Hangout, but that was okay. We had lots of other things to discuss.
But here's your chance. I mean, have at it.
Yeah. Well, apparently they're in the mix for every top 6 winger right now. Right?
Yes,
You hear all these names. You hear Jordan Eberle. You hear Jake Gensel. You hear
Buchnevich.
Tarasenko. You hear
Buchnevich.
Buchnevich. Yeah, that's been coming up a little bit as well. But I'm sitting here going, they have a fourth line that you can't play in the playoffs. You can't play the fourth line in the playoffs.
What fourth line?
Exactly. So the Edmonton Oilers right now, and if you want to come at me, that's fine. But so nothing against Connor Brown and Matthias Janmark. But right now, the Edmonton Oilers are going into the playoffs as a 3-line hockey team. They just are. I mean, you're going to go into a playoff series against the Golden Knights and run that fourth line out there confidently? No chance. So I would like to see some sort of level of improvement on that front. And if they can pull that off, then maybe it's a little bit different. But that fourth line, she's a no-go. She's a no-go right now.
Where is Nuge? Text flies in, invisible, and plays with 97 all the time.
I'm usually not here for your Nuge criticism because the man's a saint and a daddy.
But?
However, valid point right now. Nuge has been pretty quiet as of late, dare I say.
Here's an interesting take. New D pairings, just so there is familiarity if there are any injuries in the playoffs.
Yeah,
so
well,
I see what you're doing here. You're pulling.
So you feel like you're in such a good spot that you're
Now's
just
the time
testing
to-
things out?
Now is the time to get your
chance.
Bunsen burners in.
I know other people are saying, wow, they're getting a glimpse of Desharnais further. There's Travis Kelce losing it on Andy Reid again.
Yeah, he's going
What a tool. Calm down, man.
He's high on himself.
Calm
This
down.
is a point where he's...
Yeah.
The world is his oyster, hey?
Well, Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, he's
right in
fired up
people's
too, eh?
faces, too.
Yeah. They're all fired up.
Well,
Very
in the end,
ready.
they got it done.
Yeah.
In the end, they got it done.
In overtime.
I
mean, how good is it in a dynasty when you need overtime?
You know what Travis Kelce was doing, yelling at Andy Reid there? Do you know why? Knobloch mixed up the blue line. It doesn't make any sense. That could have been on what he was doing. This is good. RBM. Not concerned, but they were definitely flat on Saturday for sure. The Kings deserve that game all day long. Need more good depth in their forward group. Stop screwing with the defense pairings. Also, it's pretty cool that you brought Billy Idol in to read the sports updates. But what happened to Lieutenant Eric?
I'll take him today. That's fine. I'd love to keep this voice. I'm
to get a
living.
Billy Idol voice, that's not bad.
They finally dropped.
Yeah,
If you know what I mean.
You've been waiting.
I've been waiting, yeah.
You've been waiting for that. Strummy is saying Raphael Lavoie and Sam Gagner should be in the lineup. Yeah, I guess you love Janmark and Connor Brown for their penalty killing because there is zero reason to love them for anything else.
Yeah, fair point. And I do see the Gagner love and everything else. I just, man, take me back to the streak, eh?
I know.
It's all sunshine lollipops and...
This text is in, no name on it, but it comes to the Paris Jewelers inbox at 780-218-9999, where they have gifts for any budget for Valentine's Day.
It's heating up. This is the week, right? We're only 2 days
2
away.
days away. 2 days away. I fully believe they're looking at trading Cece, and that's why they moved up Vinny to see if he can handle it. See, so in my opinion, you're only moving Cece if you're upgrading the defense. I think there's some who view it, you can move CC to flip that money to a forward position, call up Broberg, and rely on him if Desharnais can play with Darnell Nurse. And once again, going into a Stanley Cup run with Desharnais in your top four, God love Vincent Desharnais.
We do.
He's been an amazing, amazing story. But I don't think you can go in to the playoffs with Desharnais in your top four.
Certainly not having the top four plus that bottom three.
Some people would say that you can't go into the playoffs with CC in your top four either. You know, I know there'd be that conversation.
But if you're having to choose between the two, you would take CC as opposed to Vincent, and plus the fourth line. There are things that need to be looked at, tinkered with, fiddled with, if you will, right? Exiting the CFL tampering window. There's work to be done. And I think it's good now you've lost a couple games to division rivals where it kind of expedites that thought process of there needs to be work done. Fat and happy.
Yeah, if you roll over the Golden Knights and the Kings, you're like, everything's fine. Yeah.
It's not, and that's good. You're finding it out now. Let them have the regular season results. Tinker, figure it out, get back to them in the postseason.
RCN nailed it. Nasty Chap said this a million times. Contenders usually subtract D at the deadline. Exactly. That never happens. When has a Stanley Cup contender been like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to move out a veteran defenseman and promote a guy who has zero experience, really, to that spot. Come on.
We're talking about Desharnais this morning more than we talked about Ceci during the win streak. And why did we identify not talking about Ceci during the win streak? Because he was doing his job, right?
We barely talked about CC all year.
But that's the point.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Good thing.
This text is in 780-218-9999. 100% need to add 2 to 3 top 9 forwards to push the third line to the fourth line.
Okay. Show your work.
That is setting expectations very high.
Show your work. Let's see how this happens.
Very high.
780-218-9999.
100% need to add 2 to 3 top 9 forwards to push the third line to the fourth line. Now, I mean, can you imagine if your fourth line was McLeod and Fogle and Holloway? I mean, that'd be amazing. But it's completely unrealistic because what are you supposed to do?
Nope. Don't trade any D for the run. Dowd and Beck from Washington. That's the play there. Not a sexy trade, but that's the trade.
Say that again. I missed that one.
Dowd and Beck from
Dowd
Washington.
and Beck.
Not sexy, but that's the deal. CB radio guy.
Haas is in and says, Tony Romo thinks the others just need to use their leverage.
Good one.
Mike Johnson is coming. Did we send the link to Mike Johnson? All right, beauty. MJ will be by just after 7 o'clock today. Mike Tenier on the Super Bowl as well.
Do you have a Trev check? Nothing yet. No.
Nobody's heard from Trev? I hope he's okay.
Yeah, like.
Now I'm getting worried about our little guy, huh? That being said, he should have been here this morning.
Well.
Send your guesses to where Trev is at. It could be how you get in for text of the day. My favorite one so far is he ran away with Lieutenant Eric's voice, which was a good one. That's from Lacombe Drew, trying to get his hands on that gift certificate to A&W. We are coming at you live from Century Casino on Fort Road, where Eric spent his Monday and Thursday nights, and we spent the party here last night. And there were...
We're a screen down.
A lot of 6 o'clocker loggers consumed here last night, right?
What's the count?
Did you go all the way through the 6 o'clocker loggers? There couldn't have been many left. Yeah, we knew it. We knew it. That was good.
We tried. Yeah.
Oh, no. Man, your conch whistles.
This is a really good one, yeah. Oh, no.
No.
Oh, no.
No. No.
No. No.
No. No.
Well, that's a shame, and the necklace is broken.
Man.
You can't even wear it properly anymore, man. Well, that's...
If you can't trust a conch whistle, what can you trust nowadays? Oh, man, yours is still so good.
It's very pronounced. Hey?
I wonder if I
It's
just
got a
blew
good
too
pop
hard
to
on
it.
mine or what.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, well, let's get into the good, bad, and ugly from the weekend. No graphic for this one, Zach. You don't got to worry about it, buddy. Lieutenant Eric, where are you going for your good?
I'm looking right at it, Renee, right here, Century Casino Sports Bar Lounge. It's hard to go anywhere else, really. a great year of NFL football, as Dusty mentioned. Monday and Thursday nights, I was here. A few nasties, a handful of nasties, handful of bar regulars as well, and a good mix, a generous mix. You had the bar regulars, the off-track betting regulars, and the nasties all coming together. And it was a good season, culminating in yesterday's Super Bowl. We also had Nick Taylor winning the waste management.
I got Nick Taylor on the list.
That an added bonus to the whole day, right? You got the Super Bowl going, but him on the TV as well, doing what he did in the playoff. A magical day, a very magical day. I want to thank Renee and all the staff out here at Central Casino Sports Bar and Lounge. Amazing hosts all through the NFL year, ending yesterday with the Super Bowl and with Nick Taylor taking home the win yesterday. The food was great. The 6 o'clock loggers was going, so...
Nick Taylor.
Maddie had the phone going. Maddie was on it, watching the playoffs. We got to the playoff, got on the screen. So big props. The good goes to yesterday's Super Bowl / Waste Management Phoenix Open. Nick Taylor wins. So a conch to all the people here.
I was going to say, in addition to what we had going on here yesterday, when the NFL season started, 6 o'clock or lager wasn't even a thing.
Good point.
And now you fast forward 5.5 months, and here we are at the Super Bowl party, drinking our own 6 o'clock or lager, which is just real cool.
Dreams do come true.
That was good. Oh, also another good would be the mini conch whistles. I mean, they are game changers. Shout out to the crew that dropped those off at Boston Pizza.
Yeah.
On Saturday nights, also Blake Lively. I love Blake Lively, and she looked like she was having a great time at the Super Bowl. So that'd be one of my goods as well. What is your bad from the weekend?
Well, the bad is I missed Reba McEntire's Star Spangled Banner. I was unfortunately taken, as you do at these events, you're kind of twisted and pulled in each direction. And T-Roy, right?
Yeah, the Godfather.
The Godfather. We went up to his room and took a sample of some of his liquids. I ended up missing Reba, and that hurt me. I came down, it was the final kind of verse. I guess she did an extra verse, but the bad will be, for me personally, missing the Reba McEntire Star Spangled Banner, in which a table here either got the over or the under and erupted in a loud applause, cheer, anger type of thing. So my bad will be missing the Reba McEntire, which we were kind of, keying up and promoting with the Achy Breaky podcast and everything. I thought if there's one thing I should see yesterday was that. I missed it, so that's my bad. A personal bad. A bad beat.
My bad is the stories coming out of the Waste Management Open where it's like the party zone always has been, and they had to dial it back this year.
That's my ugly.
I got to get to the Morgan Riley thing for the ugly.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that with Mike Johnson too. But yeah, when you see, how bad did it get at Waste Management that tournament has to have been we're cutting off alcohol sales?
Well, there was even a golfer complaining that they were talking. Who's at the Ryder Cup? Somebody was Zach Johnson, and he turns to the crowd and he's like, "You guys, I'm all for chirping," or I'm paraphrasing, but I'm all for chirping, but this is taking it too far.
Like Shooter McGavin.
Well, but it's
remember when Shooter didn't like the party zone and stuff?
You're at the Waste Management Open, man. Take a chirp and move on.
But it looked like it just got sloppy. It was just. So I'm kind of torn on this. That's why it's my bad, because I'm like, but that's that's what you own. Right?
Exactly.
That's what the Waste Management Open, the Phoenix Open
is.
Tournament
a year to get a little crazy.
So it's I'm kind of torn on them dialing it back, but they cut off alcohol sales and then stopped letting people in too. That was a thing.
Well, the part that did it for me was the camera going over the fans and everything, and there was that group of Mounties. Those Canadian.
Yeah.
We got the Mounties there and everything. And the whole group of Mounties were up. There's the one Mountie sitting, and you can tell that he
can't stand anymore.
He can't stand. Yeah. He's just sitting there looking at the camera straight on. Is something else.
All right, and you're ugly from the weekend.
Well, that's my ugly. It was just, this is the tournament where you let your hair down and have a party, and I thought that was all understandable. However, cutting off the alcohol sales, Zach Johnson complaining to it just go to the Live Tour then, or don't go to the Live Tour. I don't know. This is an identifiable weekend, both for fans and for golfers. Just live it, no pun intended, and move on.
My ugly is the whole Morgan Riley, Ridley Gregg situation.
Are we just going to discuss it here and leave it?
Hockey's just hilarious to me. It just is.
Well, you never played, so I don't know how you can.
That's the thing.
Competitively.
I mean, I used to do stupid stuff like that in rec league. I know when you're just a sore loser. I've been there a million times when you want to do something ridiculously stupid, basically in any sport. I get it. Like, usually you don't walk in and full-blown clapper into an empty net.
Could have missed.
But this is Ottawa and Toronto. Like, these are two teams that are rival.
Battle of Ontario.
There's a history here between these two clubs.
Yeah.
And I also I understand if somebody does that, you want to do something to them. I'm not saying don't do
It's a
something.
bit of a flex, yeah. You wanna.
But to go over and cross-check the guy in the head, I mean, have some balls, drop your gloves, grab them, and give them, or even just go over, stinky glove them, and then there's going to be a
face
scrum,
wash him, yeah,
and then that's it, right? Like, then they'll be taken care of. Oh, look, the Leafs are angry because he shot in the net, and look at this, they pushed him around, but like for people to, there's way too many people online being like, Morgan Riley did exactly what Morgan Riley's supposed to do, and I know so because I played the game.
He answered the bell. Hey, yeah.
There's no bell. A cross-check to the side of the head isn't answering anything.
This is almost
He's got himself an in-person
Tales
hearing.
of the Northworthy here. You can
Yeah,
kind of
it's just,
do a.
I don't know. Like, yeah, if you do that, you're really Greg. You do it. You turn around. You're probably expecting somebody to get in your face.
Yeah.
But sliding over with a cross-check.
A little extreme.
I saw people be like, we knew that the Leafs weren't soft. This is what I'm talking about. Like, come on. That's just stupid. I'm not saying go grab them, throw them up against the glass, give them a couple shots. Everybody's going to scrum in. People are going to grab each other, and then it's over. Instead, Morgan Riley comes over and boom, right to what's he doing? Of course he's going to be suspended. Like, it was an idiot move. And anybody trying to justify the cross check to the head was the right move. You're an idiot. I'm sorry. That's not the right move. And he deserves to get as much as he's going to get. It was after the play. This was not a hockey play. It was completely after the play. He's going to get hit hard, and he should.
As he should. Yeah. The code is lame that comes in from Tubesocks. He adds, I loved the slap shot. I would have loved if he missed the slap shot. Like, teed up the slap shot and you missed the net. Like, you kind of get a real howitzer and it just kind of goes off the post or something. Yeah, that was a hockey thing on a weekend of a lot of other things going on, but a hockey thing that just kind of has to get in there. And we're talking, Puritan, and you're getting accused of not playing professionally and all this stuff. Like, it's just that's hockey. That is hockey.
It's YouTube. Trev's here.
He's in. He's
alive.
alive. Well, he's alive. That's the main thing.
YouTube Trev showed up. This text is in and says, I know Ridley Gregg won't do that again.
Well,
cool. Who cares?
Message sent.
I'm not even sitting here being like, who cares how you put a puck in an empty net, which really should be the discussion.
I care. He should have.
It shouldn't matter.
Slap shotting it though, that you could have missed.
But
like,
yeah.
it's a very. You should. The coach should say, just put it in next time. Just tap it in. Right?
But I don't even have an issue with them having some sort of reaction to the empty netter. I'm just saying, did it really call for a cross-check to the head? No, it did not. No,
would you have cross-checked Ridley Gregg? 780-218-9999 if that was you.
All right, let's get to a sports rewind with Lieutenant Eric. Mike Johnson is going to pop by as well. Old Mystic Mike himself stepping in today for Darren Dreger, who was unable to join us today. Mike Tenier talked some Super Bowl around 7:45. You want to recap the Super Bowl? You want to recap the halftime show? You want to get to more of those text messages where YouTube Trev was this morning? We can get into all of those. But right now, a sports rewind.
Thank God he's alive.
With Lieutenant Eric. Here we go. Oh,
The Kansas City Chiefs are back-to-back Super Bowl champions. Patrick Mahomes tossing a 3-yard touchdown pass to McCole Hardman in overtime. Chiefs rallying to knock off the Niners 25-22. Other story of the day saw Nick Taylor make an 11-foot birdie putt, beating Charlie Hoffman on the second hole of a playoff after birdieing 3 of his last 4 in regulation, capping another wild weekend at the Phoenix Waste Management Open with his second memorable victory. Taylor closing with a 6-under 65. NHL yesterday, JT Miller with the overtime winner. Canucks top the Caps 3-2. St. Louis have won 7 of 8. They smoked the Habs 7-2. Oilers back home to host Detroit tomorrow night. AJHL action saw Grand Prairie over Drayton Valley 3-2. Action continues tomorrow with a pair of games. Raptors are on the court tonight in one of 10 games around the NBA. Sports update. Brought to you by Universal Rewind. Maintenance days aren't just for hockey players. Electric motors need that tender loving care as well. Contact Universal Rewind to have them properly maintain your motors. Choose experience, expertise, and quality. Choose Universal Rewind.
The Nielson Show featuring Lieutenant Eric. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
All right, happy Monday, everybody. Thank you very much for being here. The Kansas City Chiefs are Super Bowl champions in overtime. Patrick Mahomes, your MVP. We'll get to that as we continue to work our way through the show. Mike Tenier coming up a little bit later on in hour number 2 today. In hour number 3, we'll get to kind of easy trivia, 3 questions too many. And I says, pardon, we are doing the show this morning from the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge here on Fort Road in Edmonton, where we had our Super Bowl party last night. And none of us decided to leave. We stayed here at the hotel last night, and we are doing all of our shows from the little stage here at the Sports Bar and Lounge today. And so far, so good. We are cruising along. YouTube Trev, about an hour and a half late for work, but outside of that,
He's not.
Trev, things are going to happen.
We've all been here.
When you take
Trev.
your entire staff to a casino for Super Bowl. I mean, I think that's on us for making that decision in the first place, right? Yeah. As CEO of Edmonton Sports Talk, I'll take that bullet.
You're taking the big shoulders there.
That's on me.
Well, HR Daddy should have checked you. Really, it kind of goes to the top. You can keep passing that ball if you want.
All right, if you're watching on YouTube, hammer the thumbs up. Give us a sub as well. You can chime in over there. And, of course, you can text us anytime. Paris Jewelers inbox 780-218-9999. MJ stepping in today. Drags was traveling, unable to join us. Mike Johnson is brought to you by Pro-Am Sports, where the Cooks and Boys just announced a signing with Brett Kulak. I love it.
Playoff Kulak.
Yeah, Kulak's going to be doing a signing, which is going to be good. Pro-Am Sports, your locally owned sports and memorabilia apparel specialists. You can find them just north of Yellowhead on St. Albert Trail, 128th Ave, or visit them online, proamsports.ca. Like you, they are sports nerds too. Mystic Mike joins us this morning. MJ, thanks for stepping in today, buddy. How you doing?
What's going on, guys? I am well. Before we get going, are we surprised that in the most prepared for game in the history of the world, that they didn't know the rules in overtime?
It looks like he's talking. MJ, sit tight for 1 sec. Hang on.
It's a hell of a room he's got there, though.
I don't think he's muted. I think it's on our end. It looked like he was chatting. People will chime in. Hit us up. There we go. We're good? All right, MJ. Sorry, buddy. How you doing? Hey, we got him. We got him. How you doing, buddy?
All right, a little late going. But I was just saying, before we get into the hockey stuff.
Yeah.
In a football game that's more prepared for than anything else in the world, like 2 weeks, everything. The players and maybe the coaches not know the rules of overtime? Is that possible?
Yeah. Maybe that's the case. Could you? Yeah. We haven't even brought that up. That's interesting.
I sat there with my daughter, and we're doing the coin toss, and she's cheering for Kansas City because she's my daughter, and she's cheering for Kansas City. I'm cheering for San Francisco. And I'm trying to explain to her the rationale that given that both teams get the ball, you will always defer. You always take it second. Always. Because then you have 4 downs. You need 4 downs. And yet they took it first. And she asked me, why? And I could not think of a good reason. And then Tony Romo came on and said, well, the defense is gassed. I'm like, nope. That is not enough. That is not good enough to have that be the cause. So anyways, I was just like, was it Juszczyk, who's an all-pro running back for San Francisco? Like, we didn't know the rule until I saw it posted on the scoreboard that both teams get a possession, even if it's a touchdown. Like, that's insane to me.
That is insane. It's like I don't know. There's something about overtime rules. I don't know why. Every time I call a CFL game and it goes to overtime, I'm always like, "What are the rules again?" Even though I've called like
But the
I don't know, a
CFL
dozen
rules, maybe
CFL
this is a
overtime
chance
rules.
now that we move the CFL rules
They
into
got to
the
get
NFL,
CFL
right?
rules in. That's
absolutely.
it. Scrimmage from here.
You said it,
and they
Mike.
play mini games.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably the best way to go about it. Hey, what'd you think of the halftime show? Is that his connection this time? I think MJ just it looks like he froze on us. We got to get to the halftime show. Hang on one second, MJ.
He's got something to say here.
Yeah, I know. You too, Trev's on it. He's trying to be on it. Hang on. Yeah. I think we just kind of lost him. It looked like his audio was a little bit delayed. MJ, can you just reconnect? Let's just have Mike reconnect. Just reconnect, and then hopefully we can slide him back in here. Looks like his connections. Let's see if he can just hop out. Mike, just hop out and come back in, and hopefully that will work.
Blow on it.
Yeah, yeah. It's a good point though on the overtime thing.
Well, but this is right.
Right.
This is how the CFL, and now they'll bring
Yeah.
in the CFL. Hey, the NFL has come up with a brand new scheme for overtime, and it's their own
Yeah.
idea, and it'll be the CFL overtime. You just wait and watch.
Nasty chat. Could you hear Mike? Let us know, because it looked like we were getting some levels on what he was saying. Hit us up, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999, and we'll try to bring him back in. Travis is going to add that over there again. And then we will get into the Oilers' losses. They dropped to the Kings on Saturday. Losing to Vegas, whatever. You lost to
take that,
Vegas.
yeah.
Vegas is a good team. Losing to the Kings, that one hurt them, I think,
New coach
a little
bump.
bit from a fan perspective. All right, let's bring Mike back in here. MJ, thank you very much for reconnecting this morning. There we go. We got you again. Halftime show. Let's go there.
Right. So, again, saying I'm of the Usher generation. I legitimately like his music. I have for a long time. Right in my wheelhouse. I thought that he sounded so much better when he had a hand mic as opposed to like the Madonna thingy.
Yeah.
Like, I think he sounded great singing on the Madonna thingy, which is like the little wired
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
When he
Brittany
had
always
the
had
actual
one of
hand
those.
mic, the Alicia, yeah, what you're wearing, like the Alicia Keys moment when he's singing with a microphone, he sounded so much better. It was fun. Like, it was bopping around. The roller skating thing, I mean, that was both surprising and interesting. Like, I didn't know that was coming out in Vegas. So yeah, it was good, but like there would not, the last 7 or 8 that I remember, it'd be like 3 or 4 or 5. Like, I thought the one in LA with Dre and Eminem and Snoop Dogg I liked better. I liked Rihanna better. I liked even Coldplay when she was Bruno Mars and Beyonce better. So I like his music. It was okay for me.
He's got to put that roller skating request in himself. He's got to be like, I want to show the world that I can roller skate.
Oh,
That's
there's
where
no
that's got to come
question.
from, right?
There's no doubt.
Yeah.
He's like, listen, what is the one skill I have that nobody would believe I actually have?
exactly.
Is that I can get down on roller skates. So forget it. I'm bringing it out. They're like, excuse me, you're going to roller skate wardrobe change in the middle of the show? He's like,
Yeah.
yep. That is exactly
Yeah.
what I'm doing.
Yeah, how the hell did he get those things on so fast? That was extremely
And
well
off.
done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it must be my clip-ons.
It was whatever it was. It worked out extremely well. All right, Mike Johnson with us, brought to you by Pro-Am Sports. MJ, let's start with the Edmonton Oilers. They won the 16 in a row, played really well against the Golden Knights, didn't win, go in and beat the Ducks, and then suffer a pretty devastating loss for the fan base here, losing to a Kings team that had certainly been struggling. I mean, are there any red flags popping up when it comes to the Edmonton Oilers for you recently?
No, I mean, they went how long? A month and a half without losing.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's like, and yes, they were going to lose at some point, and they lost a tough game against a good team in Vegas. But you're not going to, even when you play well, run off 10 games in a row and beat every team you're supposed to beat, not even the hot ones. Nobody does that. So, LA, new coach. Also, LA, a team that at one point this season was 27-4. Like, they were first in the Pacific. So it's not like they're garbage. Like, they've been playing not well, but they're a good team, and they get the new coach bump. They're totally invested and engaged. And no, I mean, I think what you want to do is like stop it now and start going back in the right direction. I mean, the very best teams don't let 1 get to 2, get to 3. And, I think LA or Edmonton has visions of moving up in the standings, right? They're trying to catch Vegas. And they have games in hand that they would be able to do that if they were to win them. So now I'm not super concerned. It was a bit of a lethargic, but they were coming out of break, 3rd game in a row on the road. Gets a team with a new coach, a team that can be and has been pretty good. No red flags yet, but I am curious about the defensive rotations. They've mixed and matched a lot of the pairs, and that's even if they were sort of getting stale, like you're changing stuff that ran off 17 straight. So that is surprising, and how that sort of works itself out. Does Ekholm get back to Bouchard at some point and then work from there?
Mike, do those losses against the Knights and the Kings change in your mind, if anything, how this team should approach the trade deadline? The next 3 of 5 are against some good teams as well. You got Boston, you got Dallas, you got the Blues, who are turning things up and cranking up the heat in the wild card. Do these results just change how you would approach it, whether it's adding defensive depth, forward depth, or anything? Do you see anything in these 2 losses that would change your mind moving forward to that trade deadline?
I mean, they didn't score a goal against LA.
Shut out.
Yeah. I mean, I think Edmonton needs a forward.
Yeah.
A decent one. And I don't know. I don't think these games showed them that. I think they knew that before. Maybe it reminded of them or drove it home. But, I think the way that they played defensively in front of Stuart Skinner for the last month and a half, like, yes, they'll probably nibble away at some defensive depth. But, like, a really good defenseman, you know how hard that's going to get? Hard to be to get? It's going to be impossible. It's going to be impossible. It's going to cost massive assets to get anyone that would be a significant upgrade. So they'll probably go get somebody, but I just think there's more forwards out there, and I would love a quality middle 6 forward that could play on either the second or third line, play with Draisaitl if you want him to, be able to score goals. And they feels like there might be players like that available coming down towards the deadline. That's where I would be more inclined. They will cost less, they'll be easier to get, and I think it serves a need on Edmonton.
Mike, we have to slide over to Toronto and Ottawa. Ridley Gregg fires a clapper into the empty net. Morgan Riley cross-checks him in the head. The hockey world completely comes unglued, and he's got an in-person hearing.
You played pro, Mike, so you can comment on this.
Yeah, that's right.
Like that's kind of.
Hey, I look at it and go, should he have done that? Probably not. If you're the Leafs, you want to do something, go over, push him up against the boards, give him the old stinky glove or something. I just feel like cross-check to the head was probably a little too much in that situation. Where'd you come out on this?
Okay, the hockey world lost their collective minds for a minute over this, right?
Yeah.
Like, and you think it's like think of the perfect storm that's come together. It's a violation of the code, which is already polarizing, and it is Toronto and Ottawa, 2 spirited fan bases that don't care for each other. A lot of people don't like Toronto to begin with. It's Toronto who wrongly think that the Department of Player Safety has it out for them, which is probably not accurate either. And it all comes together with a pretty good stick foul. So I'll go down my thoughts, sort of from the most important to the least important, because this whole situation to me is sort of nuanced, but everyone wants to make it Riley did nothing wrong, good on him, or Gregg should never be touched, good on him. Like it's everything's in the middle. So here's my thoughts. 1, Riley should and will be suspended. You cannot do what he did in any situation for any reason and not be suspended. He should, and he will, right? Number 2, there is no situation in which a cross-check to the head is appropriate. We know too much about injuries and head injuries and stick use to say, oh yeah, you know what, it got away from me, I put it right into his ear. You can't do that no matter what. 3, Gregg can do whatever he wants on an empty net. He wants to put it through his legs. He wants to do a snow angel. He can do whatever he wants. He's entitled to that, absolutely. And if he wants to do something to piss off the other team, have at it. Your prerogative. Do whatever you want, for sure. No one's saying you can't. Number 4, now you got to pay attention to the wording here. Ridley Gregg and every other player in the NHL knows to expect a reaction if you do something like that. Now, I'm not saying that is correct. That is, we can talk about like whether the code should warrant that. That's a different conversation. Right now, everyone knows you do that, someone's going to come talk to you.
Yeah.
Okay? So he knew and should have expected. Not the other conversation is a bigger conversation, like what's the code and whatever people should or should not do. Everyone knows, including his own teammates. Like, you do that, someone's going to come talk to you, even if it's the perceived soft leaps.
Yeah.
And 5 now, slightly different than David Perron got 5 games on Artem Zub, cross-check in the head, right? But Zub had no idea that was coming. 5, Ridley Gregg should have expected it, and he actually physically saw him coming. He put his hand up to stop him. He tried to defend himself with his hand. Does not make Morgan Riley innocent. He was suspended and should. That was point 1. Let's go back to that. But he saw him coming. And the last one, and I'm not saying I'm tough. I'm not saying I would not have gone down myself. I'm saying he was not hurt. And I think he, in the moment, knew to get low down in a heap because Morgan Riley did something stupid. So I put all that in the blender.
Yeah.
And I think, like, that's sort of the situation. Like, he can do what he wants. He can expect a reaction. The Leafs should react. You should never, like, what Morgan Riley should have done is cross-check him in the back, in the arm, grabbed him, spun him, and said, okay, I don't like what you did. Let's fight. Now, people will say that's barbaric. Sure, hockey can be barbaric, but you are allowed to fight in the NHL. As long as he doesn't sucker him and gives him a chance to defend himself and says, I don't like what you did. I'm going to ask you to fight, and we are going to try to fight. I don't think many people would have a problem, including the Senators. Like, they're like, yeah, like, that's sort of what you get. Whether you should, different conversation, but that's what you get. So I put all that in the blender, and I thought, initially I watched the replay, saw it closely. And usually I'm quite accurate in my initial assessment. Like, I'm usually pretty good. So when I heard in-person hearing, I'm like, well, I missed that one. Because if he gets 6 games for a team that has 30 games left, he's going to miss 20% of their remaining schedule. And forget about advancing the playoffs. They're trying to advance to the playoffs.
Yep.
They're not home and cooled by any stretch. He's the best defenseman by a country mile, and he may miss the next 2 weeks of important games. This is a, pretty significant moment for the Leafs and for Morgan Riley, a guy who uncharacteristic. He doesn't do anything violent ever. But made a bad call, sticking away from him. But that's my thought. So you can unpack that one, Dusty, however you like.
Well, we will.
That's sort of the way I look at it.
No, I think you did an excellent job breaking it down. It's just been very amusing watching everybody freak out about this. Like, it's
Eric,
been
when I
too
do an
good.
assignment and it's bullet points, like, I'm going to page.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for point 8, 9,
Yeah,
10.
that's right. Keep going. Yeah, no, MJ, we appreciate you popping on, buddy. Thanks a lot, man. Great breakdown.
All right, boys.
There you go.
Have a good time and get out of the casino at some point.
I know.
Right?
I know. Yeah. He's got to go home here at some point. There you go. That's Mike Johnson. We'll catch up with him again on Friday. It's brought to you by Pro Am Sports. They did just announce that Kulak signing. For more information there, you can hop online, www.proamsports.ca.
Library Pat into the inbox, Parachuters inbox 780-218-9999. Mystic Mike for the win, perfectly laid out. And I thought he nailed it. It was very nice.
But it's also the reasonable take.
Yeah,
like that's just the
lots
reasonable
of things
take.
can be corrected at the same time as well, and I think he laid it out really good there. And yeah, you have to expect something, but the something that you're expecting just shouldn't be going out and trying to take the guy's head off.
We'll have Craig Button on tomorrow.
Oh,
and but I just saw, we'll see what Craig Button has to say tomorrow.
MJ getting a 5-star review here in the inbox.
Well, I mean, I thought he broke it down from a bunch of different levels, even to how the suspension will probably come
outside
about.
of having charts and a PowerPoint. We were, But you never played, so how dare you have
I mean, I look at it and go, probably shouldn't clap one into the net like that. But, I mean, if you don't want him to do that, then don't let him get a breakaway on an empty net.
Yeah.
You know, like... And then if you were Morgan Riley, I mean, Mike broke it down. He should have gone over, cross-checked him in the shoulder, turned him around. And if Morgan Riley's gloves weren't glued on, they could have come off, and he could have fought him. And instead, he's going to be suspended.
yeah.
This is a blue line that already sucks.
Yep.
And now they're going to not have him for 20% of the remaining games.
Trying to get a wild card.
That's not a smart move. Not a smart move.
Not ideal.
You could have like, to me, Morgan Riley could have handled this from a code perspective and not hurt his team as badly as he's about to hurt his team.
Yeah.
780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Jonathan is in and says, MJ says he isn't tough, but he fights through all the audio adversity imaginable. Right? That's a guy who's hanging in there. That was just his internet connection sucked. You saw it was like on one bar.
Hell of a room.
That's why it wasn't working. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Zulu's in and says, Dusty and Lieutenant Eric look like two guys who need a day off. I mean,
We're just getting the
maybe
week
a little
going here.
bit.
Super
Maybe
Bowl
one
Monday.
day.
Super Bowl Monday.
Today's Monday.
Yeah.
We're going to be on location at an RV show. More details on that as we work our way through the week. We're teaming up with Arcan. And I think we're going to be doing the show from inside an RV. Not driving around yet.
Inside.
But we're going to do that on Thursday. So that should be a lot of fun.
Thursday.
We are looking for Thursday.
Love it.
Don't
Okay.
come to work on
No,
Thursday. Go to the RV show.
Go
on
to the
Thursday.
RV show.
Yeah. All right, hit us up, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Guys, I was watching the whole thing unfold with my kids, and when Greg took that slap shot, I said out loud, he's going to die. But I didn't expect him to take a stick to the head. I was expecting a scrum or a fight. And it's funny, because MJ said one thing, and I kind of just chuckled once again at, hockey in general, where MJ goes, Morgan Riley should have gone over, turned him around, was like, you want to, like, he would have, you give him one of these, right?
Yeah,
you
give
hold
him
here,
one,
you pop him a couple times. If he wants to go, the gloves come off, everybody fights. But MJ goes, that's barbaric. Like, that's how people view hockey. Like, they're still fighting, but it's barbaric. Yet we're pretending that a stick to the head isn't barbaric. You know what I mean? You just took this stick and hammered it across his head, but we're like, oh, fighting's barbaric.
Yeah.
Well, then what the hell's that? This is why he's going to get hit.
Well, also, they take slap shots at human beings in the net. That's arguably worse than taking one with nobody in the net, right? That's more dangerous when there's a goalie in there. If you want to talk about barbaric,
we're going to take this. You know what we're going to do to this guy? We're going to shoot a black rubber disc at him 100 miles an hour.
That happens every single night, multiple times. Nobody says a word.
God,
now you do it on an empty net, and everybody's crying.
That's pretty good. I like that one. 780-218-9999. If you were in charge of this decision, how many games would it be for Morgan Riley? And don't say none, because I'm not soft. Like, you have to.
Well, especially
since
he's a Leaf player, it'll be banished for life too, maybe by some people. But
this text in from Kevin says, I can't wait to hear Mitch Marner's inevitable us against the world smug post-game interview.
This is a week removed of their post-All-Star playoff push, if you correctly recall on TSN.ca, remember?
Yeah.
They're taking names.
Well, they're playoff mindset.
Playoff mindset,
exactly.
Mindset. This isn't really a playoff mindset, I would say.
They've always been there.
Yeah,
they've always been there.
Sure.
Guys, could we get the Kane goal song? Breaking an Oilers Gretzky record is pretty juicy.
Well, if not now, when?
The three hat tricks.
Yeah,
and
well,
hey,
like, you tell me, Dusty.
It's probably time.
It's
probably time. I'm going to have to find some time, which I don't know where. I don't know where this time is hiding. Where do I find this? Anyway, I probably got to get a Kane song ready for the playoffs. And I know we can do something like Rock You Like a Hurricane and stuff like that. I got one that I like, but it's kind of like a guilty pleasure. It's one of my favorite bands that I think could possibly work as well. But, yeah. Hey, boys, are you putting in a shift at the front desk while you're doing the show today? Yeah, that's where we are. Welcome to the Century Casino.
Here's $10 in chips.
I'm going to need your address and 2 pieces of ID. Thank you very much for joining us. Do you have the make and model of your vehicle, and will you be parking it underground?
Speaking of which,
I could probably pull that off. The ladies here, when you checked in yesterday, were they not the 2 nicest ladies ever?
Great service.
They were great.
The underground parking is phenomenal.
You parked underground?
I sure as hell did.
I didn't. I was worried because of the big truck I have.
Yeah,
right?
well, you don't want to scrape the height restrictions. But no, it's a great underground parking. I actually saw a lady removing her car, or trying to remove her car from the underground parking, and a little bit of side action, if you know what I mean. A little bit of she'll be looking for a paint job later today. Oh, no.
The doc says Dale Hunter got 21 games for doing the same thing in the 90s.
Yeah.
Why would this be any less? Well,
It's the 90s.
First of all, Hunter's was more vicious. That was a straight-up check to the back, right into the boards. I mean, this was a cross-check to the head after the whistle.
90s, though.
I don't know. He's going to get 6 or 7 games.
Modern day.
Leafs fans are going to lose it. But I don't know why. Like, how can you defend that? Like, for people who are trying to defend it.
Well, the code.
How?
The code.
How are you pulling that off?
You've never played competitively, so you would not know.
I just feel like even hockey code guys got to be like, the code would be
Oh,
to grab him, drop the gloves,
I'm
and
sure
try
he
to
is,
fight
yeah.
him.
But you need to dig in. You need to double down on this one. It's the code.
This text is in and says, what about is Anita Evander to the tune of Ironic by Alanis? No. I don't want to like squash too many suggestions right away, but there's no chance that happens. If you have any other ideas on an Evander King goal song, I've got 2 or 3 already on a short list that I can write and we can get produced. But if you have any ideas, feel free. 780-218-9999. This text is into us and says, is this the Nielson show? I'm going to say, sure.
That was it? Oh, yes.
Yeah, I think they're just seeing if this is the text line.
They texted in September just signing in for future views.
Yeah.
So
well,
yeah,
you're back,
okay,
baby.
So, yeah, this is it.
Guys, how about the 80s song Fame replaced with Kane? LOL, that one in from D-Rock today.
Kane.
Is that it? That one? Fame. That one?
Kane.
I don't think that. Does that slap enough? Like,
It could be like a McDavid when you have 2 songs, like one for the kids, type of thing, you know?
I don't have time to do 2 songs. My God. Let's think about it while we do this.
What say you? Hey, nasty crew. We got the Nielson show flu. And there's nothing we can do about it. What say you? Hey, nasty crew. My wife thinks I got better things to do, but there's nothing I can do about it. We're tuning in, we're listening online. We catch up with the podcast when we fall behind. We're texting in the nasty chat, what's on our mind. 780-218-9999. No more interference from corporate interest. Just Tati and Eric and all of the bad guys. Like Wyszynski and Noodles, Gadrick and Gage. If it's this but a cool bed to make a little wager. We can't wait for the Monday mandate. Sharky's always on time. Tommy's always late.
Would you like a cup of tea?
Forget about the old place. Hey, we were number 1 in the text race. We don't miss all the commercial breaks, but we sure miss Nickelback today. We wanna hear some hot takes and we wanna hear Renee. Why not hold the neck up when I wanna kiss away? Beat left the tie of fire and remember that name. We love every goal song, but what about the Canes? Macramella, Rapaport, Drager and Tenier. It ain't Christmas season, but they sound like reindeer. Button and my cousin and the tales of the North. All about him given person, does he go for? What say you? AM Nasty Crew. We got the Nielson show flu. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it.
Yes, there is. There's nothing you can do about it. Jaunties with the latest What Say You remix there. Absolutely straight fire.
Rocketing
As we
up
like
the
to
charts.
bring only the best songs to the airwaves here on the Nielson Show.
Oh, it's the top of the pops, I think.
That's
they
a good
call
one.
it, hey?
That's a chart topper right there.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to your Cool Bet hotline of the day. I'm going to pick a hockey game tonight for you, but first of all, Super Bowl odds for next season. We got them.
Good to say, too, good to be back in the cool bet realm.
Yeah, it's
Right,
nice. Yeah,
Canada
down in the
side
States,
and-
yeah, a little bit
yeah.
different there. All right, the Niners,
I love you.
5-1 Super Bowl favorites. Kansas City Chiefs, plus 750 to go for the three-peat. Baltimore Ravens, 11-1. Buffalo Bills, 11-1. The Bengals in
Okay.
a bounce-back season
Yeah.
at 12-1. The Dallas Cowboys and your Detroit Lions, 14-1. And then the Packers and the Dolphins at 20-1. And the Philadelphia Eagles at 20-1. Then it kind of falls off a little bit. Trying to see if there's anything down there further that you would move on, and probably not. After the Dolphins, you get the Texans at 25-1. The Jets at 28-1. The Browns at 28-1. The Chargers at 28-1. The investment, Trevor Lawrence,
Wow.
33-1. 33-1.
A little sprinkle.
Yeah. I might sprinkle that early. Might sprinkle that one early. In the NHL tonight, you're probably going to hate me for this, but let's get some value on this bad boy. Your cool bet hotline of the day is going to be the Vegas Golden Knights in regulation at home, plus 115 against Minnesota.
At least you're not wearing a cap.
Yeah. Golden Knights, plus 115 in regulation tonight. That is your cool bet hotline of the day. I will be joined by the cool bet boys on the lock shop today as we break down the Super Bowl, take a look at the NHL slate, obviously, look at those Super Bowl odds for next year. Lots to get to in the lock shop today, coming up here at 11 o'clock, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Let's get to a sports update for Park Mazda. We got Mike Tenier coming up here around 7:45 today. And if you want to chime in on hockey code, like what is hockey code now in 2024? Everything's changed. The game is significantly softer than it used to be. I don't necessarily know I love it. I mean, I'd like to see a little more rough stuff back in the game, but what is the code nowadays? I feel like the code should have and probably has changed over the last 10 years.
There's a bit of everything. You get your rough stuff still, but it's frowned upon, so you have to kind of straddle that line, right? Like it's a bit of a get all of the rough stuff out or give me all of the rough stuff. It's like baseball. Give me a juiced league and give me a non-juiced. I want it all or I want nothing at all.
Right now, the code to me is a reason to have Ryan Reeves on a roster. You know, like
what else
exactly,
are we doing here? But what are we? Yeah, why?
All right, let's get to a sports update for Park Mazda. Probably get to some whale on the wolf on the other side of this.
Bring him out of the room.
Mike Tenier.
Open the door.
Around 7:45.
Kansas City Chiefs are back-to-back Super Bowl champions. Patrick Mahomes with a 3-yard touchdown pass to McCole Hardman in overtime. Kansas City rallied to knock off the Niners 25-22. Patrick Mahomes named your Super Bowl MVP. The other story of your Sunday, Nick Taylor, an 11-foot birdie putt, beating Charlie Hoffman on the second hole of a playoff. He captures the Phoenix Waste Management Open with his second memorable victory. Taylor closing with a 6-under 65. NHL action from yesterday. Canucks over the Caps 3-2 in overtime. The Blues topping Montreal 7-2. St. Louis have won 7 of 8. Oilers back home to host Detroit tomorrow. 4 games around the NHL this evening. They include Seattle at New Jersey, the Flames visiting the Rangers, and Vegas at home to Minnesota. Grand Prairie topping Drayton Valley 3-2 in AJHL action. Schedule resumes tomorrow with a pair of games, and the Raptors are back on the court tonight. It's one of 10 games around the NBA. Sports Update brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda and dealer principal Mitch Lewicki, who is still wandering around the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge this morning.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki in a tuxedo t-shirt because it says, like, he wants to be formal, but he's also here to party too.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
I've got something under my skin, and the itch won't go away. It's my original sin, the poison that I crave. Come along for the ride, I'd make you feel better. Cut the rope that I tied, but then I broke my skin again. You got me fiending for that first high, but the feeling's not the same. You got me stealing, killing, I die, just to feel you in my veins.
Oh, I got a great idea. I just had this great idea. We're sitting here on this stage. We're sitting. What's up, Trev? Oh, thanks, Trev. You're good too. You're good too, Zach Dickham. We're sitting here on this stage right now, at Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge, where we had all of our Super Bowl festivities last night. We did say this morning when we were setting up our gear at like 5:45, I did say to Maddie, I said, probably should have taken that Super Bowl stat. Probably should have done the stat that we were talking about.
He points,
the
points,
Super Bowl
he
stat.
does, yeah.
No, but I was saying next year, instead of the halftime show, whatever it is, Whale and the Wolf plays on this stage at the
Probably make that work,
right?
timing-wise and everything. But to
Your
your
brother was
Super
here
Bowl
last
stat
night
as
anyway,
well,
right? So you just need to get Ryan and the rest of the guys.
kind of a modified programming for, we were thinking of like a Super Bowl hangout the day after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, modified programming
Yeah, yeah.
maybe next year.
We're learning on the fly, eh?
Yeah. 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999, or of course you can hit us up in the nasty chat as well. And we are asking today, like, what's the code? What's the code in hockey nowadays? Is the guys be firing slappers and empty nets?
Clappers.
It was finishing touches on a statement win for the Ottawa Senators. So
in a Battle of Ontario, you're not doing that against any other.
Old Gil is in and says, regular season, that slap shot is okay. I mean, you can only be mad at yourself for sucking. In the playoffs, you should get a glove to the face.
So, like it's a glove to the face in the playoffs for doing that, but like a cross check is fine in the regular. Is that what he's?
He's just saying there should be nothing in the regular season.
Nothing in the regular
season.
season.
If you do it in the playoffs. See,
yeah.
but I almost feel better about it in the playoffs because you know what you're doing. You're picking up one of the 4 wins you need in a series. You're fired up. You're sending a message like we're here to play for keeps.
And
Slapper,
you're goading a guy into a suspension in a playoff series as well,
Yeah.
which is an astute play by Mr. Greg.
Surveyor Brett's wondering if we found YouTube Trev yet. We did.
He's here.
Tweet
out a picture of him in the big
He's here. He's kind of here. He's sort of here.
Call you Tom Gazzola.
Yeah. Surveyor Brett says, hockey guys are so funny, so tough, and play through a broken foot, but their feelings get hurt when you hit the netting too hard on an empty net goal. It is kind of funny. It's just, I don't know.
Well, I'm saying nobody cries for the goaltender.
Yeah.
They're stopping like 40 a night. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
Come on.
For a sport that's full of tough guys,
the net will be okay.
They sure do act like babies in certain situations.
In certain situations, yes. Not all of them.
Reaper1XXX on YouTube says, if you are watching YouTube, let's hammer that thumbs up. Give us a sub as we push towards 7,000. We're just over 6,900, so we're closing in on 7,000. So give us a sub over on YouTube. Reaper says, I don't care if a point-blank empty net clapper is acceptable. It was entertaining. I enjoyed the Leafs game before the Oilers started. Big suspension is coming, and it is deserved. Nick is in and says, I'm all for the clapper into the empty net. Entertainment level high. I'd like to see the Michigan into an empty net. Imagine what that would bring. Oh, my God.
There you go. Now that's the new era.
That would be like a completely unnecessary Michigan into an empty net. That'll get you speared right in the heart.
I'm here for it, and people will be talking hockey, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what you want. You want people talking. People are talking.
Yeah, empty net Michigan. Your move, Trevor Zegras.
Well, I just wonder how this has changed if it's your team in your rivalry game. Like if the Flames are doing this, going down on the Oilers net or something, and they slap a clapper in. Like how are our opinions changed? It's one thing to watch the Battle of Ontario from across the country.
Yeah,
and say,
good question.
It's fun. But like if this is happening to your team in a rivalry game, I do wonder. Does the code get changed a bit? Does it, caps lock with the necessary response?
Well, I think you'd still get, it's a garbage play for the Flames. But I also don't think, you can't defend. Like, Leafs fans can't sit here today and who was it? Sid 6-0.
Oh.
He should probably stick to Toronto city politics.
Yeah.
Like, Riley did exactly what he should have or whatever it is. Like, come on, man.
He's going for the take.
So, yes, Morgan Riley definitely should have cross-checked a guy in the head because they shot a puck into his empty net. Come on. Yeah, Roland is in and says, what's the code response for cross-check to the head? All I know is that the next time they play, Reeves is going to be on the prowl. Ottawa will win by 4. Be on the ice so much. JKB's in and says, what about Veins for the King goal song? From Whale and the Wolf.
Kane.
It's interesting. Hadn't even thought of that one. 780-218-9999. We'll get to more of those text messages as we continue to roll through. This text is in and says, speaking of Kulak, I wish he had some offense to make it a priority for the perfect goal song. I see a red light and a goal by Brett Kulak, Rolling Stones, Paint It Black.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The only thing Kulak's focused on right now is his upcoming signing at Pro-Am Sports. Visit them, www.proamsports.ca.
I do like Kulak getting a song prior to Kane, though, on this show. That would be a very...
Kulak does look like he could be a good offensive defenseman.
Sure.
Like, he skates really well. There's times Kulak bursts up the ice, and you're like, who's this guy?
Well, you see the 7 on the jersey, right? And you've been confused once or twice, right, to who that player is.
Nasty chat rolling along. Let's keep that going. And like we said, hammer the thumbs up for us today as well. Tell your friends about Edmonton Sports Talk. A lot of talk about YouTube and podcasts and stuff, obviously, but it is actually our online audio station that does the best for us. So a lot of people are listening on TuneIn or at edmontonsportstalk.com. So make sure you continue to tell your friends how easy it is to consume EST. Penner's Pancake says, Mr. Vane has a good old school beat to it.
Bring that banger back.
Coming out of a playoff game, I always view these as morning after playoff game, right? Everybody comes rolling in, the whole city's on a high. You drop in a Vander Kane song that's a parody of Mr. Vane. I think that would go.
That would hit.
That would go a long way.
People would love it.
That would go a long way.
1260 return as well, right?
Yeah. Guys, what was worse? Riley on Greg or Pietrangelo on Draisaitl? Man, these are different incidents.
But again,
different
as Larry
incidents.
says in the nasty chat, it's different teams, different players, different situations. So I
think it's way too different a situation to actually compare.
Sure. But when it's closer to home, your opinions do change somewhat based on the...
Sean Daniel shows in and says, hey, brothers, great time at Century Casino last night. Yeah, I think it was a pretty good time. I think everybody had a pretty good time.
Blame it on the Kane, Caniac,
not
Purple Cane.
Nope. But keep those suggestions rolling in. It's 780.
We'll find one.
218-9999. We got Mike Tenier. Mike Tenier joined us to recap a little something we like to call the Super Bowl.
The big game.
Overtime. Patrick Mahomes finds a way again. Another MVP. Lots to discuss. We'll review the halftime show. Travis Kelce so angry at his head coach, but they found a way to get it done. If Mike Tenier is good to go, boys, let's bring him in. Mike, good morning. How are you, sir?
A little groggy, but I'm always a little groggy after the Super Bowl. This one's just a little bit longer and more tiring than the typical one.
Well, let's talk about this, because let's just start with the first half of this game. It didn't seem like there was too much going on. Things obviously ramped up after that, but how do you summarize the pre-overtime portion of this year's Super Bowl?
You know, in the first half of the game, the 49ers, I said this wrong, the Chiefs were making mistakes. The 49ers were not capitalizing on it. And that's what you saw early in the game with there's very little scoring is Chiefs fumbling, Chiefs having trouble on defense, et cetera. And the 49ers just not being able to do anything with that. And that set the stage for this Mahomes comeback that just sort of keeps happening and happening and happening and happening. And you're right, the game picks up in the second half. But it's similar to the first half in that there's turnovers, there's mistakes on special teams, et cetera. But at this point, the Chiefs figured out a way to move the ball a little bit on offense, and that put them in position to set the stage for the overtime period.
Did you think Travis Kelce was going to bite Andy Reid?
You know what? I don't know what Kelce said to Reid. I think it was in a press conference afterwards what Kelce and Reid said there. I don't know what it was. But you know what? Passions are high. That was a little extreme. When you remember how old Andy Reid is, he probably doesn't need to get slammed into by a 260-pound, 34-year-old athlete like that. They won the game, so I don't think either of them are ever going to talk about what happened at that moment again.
No, and if they do, they'll just laugh about it because they won the game, right? But you did say it, another comeback, not a huge comeback, but a comeback nonetheless for Patrick Mahomes. And that was just kind of peak Patrick Mahomes, wasn't it? Like, he used Mecole Hardman and MVS to get into the end zone. He led the team in rushing yards, which you probably weren't expecting him to do. The dude just found a way to get that done in a tight game. I thought it was extremely impressive.
It was a mixture of Brady-like and Jordan-like. Yeah, it's Brady-like in that he's distributing the ball to a million different guys, throwing it short, and like managing the clock like a champ. And it's Jordan-like because there are points where, the one thing Brady was never going to do is make a play with his legs, in these circumstances. So it's Jordan-like where it's like, oh, I have to do this part myself. I've got to have to drive. On 4th and 1, I've got to take the ball myself. I got to scramble. I got to do these things. And that was the part where he had to take this extra level. Even Tom Brady doesn't necessarily have that extra level to his game. I say Mahomes has to do that at this moment to get this win.
What would be the most memorable thing about yesterday's game? What was that moment that we're going to look back on and go, yes, the Niners, Chiefs, 2024?
It's probably the play at the end of Hardman. That's going to be like the Dwight Clark catch. Or maybe it's something like the Malcolm Butler interception because the game didn't have a lot of superlative plays. If the 49ers win, I think we remember the trick play where Jawan Jennings throws to McCaffrey. But for the Chiefs, maybe it's the 4th down conversion by Mahomes. But I think there's that final play where it says it comes down to this. And, the most lowly among us, Mecole Hardman, a much maligned player, makes his play at the end because Mahomes puts him in position to succeed. And I think that's what we're going to take away from this.
Mike, your thoughts on everything else from Reba McEntire kicking things off to the halftime show? Usher, did you have Ludacris on a prop bet or anything like that showing up? Your thoughts on halftime?
I didn't recognize Ludacris.
I love it.
He looked nothing like he looks like in Fast and Furious, and my wife's saying that's Ludacris. I'm like, that is not Ludacris.
That is Ludacris.
I have
no
idea
Ludacris that he
is.
looks like that, yeah.
And what happened with the halftime show is I didn't like it at first, and it kept getting better and better and better because more people kept showing up. Like, oh, Alicia Keys, holy cow, I can get into this. Oh, is that H-E-R? I dig her. Holy cow, what's happening here? So I really enjoyed that by the end. It was fun. It felt like a party, and I think that's what a halftime show should feel like. A big old party with a lot of people just enjoying themselves, and that's what it was.
So as the Niners sit down and break this thing down, Mike, you look at Brock Purdy, 22 of 38, 255 yards, had a passing touchdown. They had the trick play that ended up in the hands of McCaffrey. McCaffrey goes off for 160 yards and a touchdown on 30 touches between the air and on the ground as well. As they look back, where are they going to say, where did they go wrong? What happened here that they ended up losing a tight game to a really good team?
McCaffrey's got to look at his fumble.
Yep.
Deebo Samuel has 3 catches on 11 targets. He's not necessarily getting open the way he should. Trent Williams early in the game commits a couple penalties. Like the most reliable Hall of Fame guy makes mistakes there. And Kyle Shanahan has to look at himself and his game plan. I don't want to get into whether you kick or receive in overtime because nobody's ever done this before. They were figuring it out on the fly. But there were a couple of sequences in a row. I think in the second half, I'm looking them up right now. There were a couple of 3-and-outs in a row. 3-and-outs in a row in the second half by the 49ers. One after an interception where they get the ball in great field position. And Kyle Shanahan is calling plays where he thinks Brock Purdy is Peyton Manning. He's throwing the ball downfield. He's having them throw along the sidelines. And they got here by, and not to diss Brock Purdy at all, they got here by recognizing, it's going to be short passes, running the ball, and yak, and putting this young quarterback in positions to succeed. Kyle Shanahan doesn't do that. He starts playing hero ball with his young quarterback. And part of that's on Purdy. He doesn't execute those plays. A lot of it's on Shanahan realizing this is not how we got here. This is not the kind of football we play. And putting himself in position yet again in the Super Bowl to say, I'm going to let another team come back on me because we've got this opportunity and we're not going to take it.
So as of right now, looking at the odds for next year's Super Bowl, the Niners are the favorite again, as they were heading into the playoffs this year. When you look at this Niners team as it is currently constructed, they were this close this time. I mean, do they get one here with Brock Purdy as their quarterback? What are you expecting from them next year?
Well, first of all, Purdy's still working for minimum wage for another year. There's nothing anyone can do about that. A quarterback that can get you a lead in overtime in the Super Bowl, can win a Super Bowl. We can't play this game. Brock Purdy can't get it done. He did everything he could to get it done. He needed a little more step up from the other guys there. And the reason the 49ers are favorites is because when you look around the NFC, the Eagles are in transition, the Cowboys are the Cowboys, the Lions are a real threat. But the 49ers have what looks like smooth sailing to the Super Bowl again. You look at the Chiefs, it's like, oh my God, the Ravens are still going to be awesome. The Bills are going to be awesome. Joe Burrow is going to be back. So the 49ers can absolutely do it again. They kind of have to keep this nucleus intact, and they can do it because they don't have a lot of guys they have to pay in the offseason.
Okay, so, the Chiefs and Niners, they could both be back. But outside of those two teams, which team right now do you like to maybe win it all next year? Give us one team that you're saying next year they're in this spot.
If the Ravens ran the ball against the Chiefs,
man,
they might have won that game, and they would have beaten the 49ers, I say. If I'm being a betting man, I like the Lions plus 1,200. And if I'm trying to be an early adopter, I talk about like the Houston Texans plus 2,200. They're still, I think, 2 years away from a Super Bowl. But the Ravens and the Bills are the two teams you'll look at right away and say, yeah, those teams could easily be here. Missed field goal, missed opportunity. Those teams are that good. They could reach the Super Bowl in 2025.
Mike, thanks for joining us again throughout the entire season. Maybe we'll circle back here around the draft, but hopefully we'll be able to catch up with you again next year.
Absolutely. Yeah, and enjoy the offseason.
Oh, enjoy the offseason from Mike Tenier. Are you kidding me? God, is that a rush the morning after Super Bowl? Oh, I am going to enjoy my offseason, Mike. I really am. That's going to be, what offseason? Nice work, Maddie. Well played. Well played. What's tomorrow? What's tomorrow in the football world, boys? CFL free agency.
CFL free
Tampering
agency,
window
baby.
is closed. CFL free agency tomorrow. We will have a heavy CFL free agency show here. I'll be getting into it pretty heavily on the Lock Shop. The Hangout tomorrow is basically going to be all CFL free agency. And are we still planning on doing our special CFL free agency show? I think we might as well. Nice little summary. Yeah, after we'll have some special content after two guys and a goalie tomorrow. CFL free agency.
And there's
That's
nothing
going to be amazing. And there's nothing you can do about it.
Slam the window, open the door for CFL free agency.
Did Mike Tenier say there that he likes the Detroit Lions at 12-1?
He also said there's nothing you can do about it in a certain phrase. Did you pick
No, I
that?
did.
He knows the song.
I didn't see that.
But it's good for him taking the Lions there as well. Yeah, I'm going to miss Mike Tenier.
Well, he's not dead.
No, I know, but I'm
text
just
him if you
saying
want.
the Monday mornings are just
Yeah.
enjoying your week. Like, look, every NFL season we're like, oh wow, it's week 3. Oh wow, it's week 5. Oh wow, it's week 9, and then the Super Bowl comes, and now it's all over again. The NFL is over.
Yeah, it is. It's a sad time
until the camps get going again in a couple weeks or whatever, right?
Yeah. I'm just glad they got the Super Bowl done before CFL free agency starts.
Well, these things are important, and that's why the schedule is all laid out as it is, right? You want to move the season up or whatever. This is all lockstep. And being a Canadian football fan, it never ends. That's the beauty of it. This doesn't need to stop. The NFL is over. The CFL's just kicking off.
Just getting going.
Right?
Look who already texted us here.
This is a text. Hey?
Tommy Gazzola.
This is a text.
It's 7:53. Tommy's already texted in and said, need me to pick anything up?
Need me to pick anything?
I'm going to say, don't think so.
I should be okay.
Yeah. Propane Pimp is in and says, how many mock fantasy drafts has Nielson done for the 2024 season?
Well, yeah, it begins now, right?
Yeah, well, I'm not even mocking. Like, I'm already getting into best ball drafts. Which is way too early.
Well, you have a Kerfloat to think about here.
But I love, that's right.
Speaking of fantasy.
Cavis Reed Fantasy Football League of adult things.
Sure.
Arguably the most popular CFL fantasy league going.
We still need a Dunya AGM here at the Central Casino Sports Bar and Lounge, Maddie.
Yeah, they haven't even had the Dunya AGM?
No, we couldn't. We had to postpone it. Maddie, Dunya AGM. Got it. Here. Yeah.
McCord's never going to come here. Oh, yeah, he'll come here then. Yeah, he's a big off-track betting guy. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
We won't get any business done.
That makes sense. 780-218-9999 or in the nasty chat as well. The Baltimore Ravens must be kicking themselves in the ass.
Well,
right
he must
now.
be kicking himself, too, after hearing all you need to do is run the ball, and you're probably Super Bowl champions, right?
I mean, that's the truth, though.
Simple as that.
The Baltimore Ravens are born to run the football, and against the Kansas City Chiefs,
At home.
they handed it all at home. They handed the ball off to their running backs. What was it, 5 combined times? 6 combined times. It was 5 or 6 times.
Let him off the hook.
You had him.
You had him, yeah. Let him off the hook.
That one surprised me.
Getting walloped is one thing, right? But not going down with your A game.
Smitty the Welder's in. Smitty, the Niners fan. Ugh. Bad play calling, used another word, by Shanahan on the first 2 drives of the third quarter. Good field position and not one run with the best running back in the league. It is funny how teams all of a sudden try to get away. Now, they ran the ball 22 times last night, so it's not like they went away from the run game.
Yeah.
But it is funny how teams sometimes in big spots forget who they are.
Well, you get a little scared, right? A little punch, a little bop to the nose, it gets your eyes watering, and then, you're off your game. But what could have been that Ravens thing, man, the Bills, I don't, look, whatever. You can make a case there, and that's all fine, and they might be back in the mix next year, but the fact that the Ravens at home in that game, after the Chiefs had to go survive the Bills, and all you needed really to do was just control the ground, run the ball.
Hey, Maddie, do you want anything from Tommy? He texted us. Somebody should make him stop and get something. That'd be funny. No, I don't need anything.
He knows we don't need anything. That's why he's asking, I think.
That's why he's asking today. Yeah. Tommy, I'm going to need a burger from Jack's Drive-In in Spruce. Can you pop out and get it on your way in?
He said anything. Yeah.
Trev says 2. Trev wants one too. So Mike said the Ravens next year. They are 11-1. They have the 3rd best Super Bowl odds, tied with the Buffalo Bills. There's the Bills again.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Always viewed as the Super Bowl contender, and I don't know.
This was a year.
If you are just joining us, if you weren't listening a little bit earlier on, or you weren't on YouTube a little bit earlier, halftime show. That's why I wanted to have Rashog on today, but Rashog is just on the longest stretch of avoiding us right now. I don't know what's going on, but usually we have Shoggy in the Monday after, not to talk about the Super Bowl, obviously, because I don't necessarily.
Well, we always
think
like getting his recap of
he
NBA
usually
finals
gives us the
or Super Bowl.
halftime show, right? Shoggy usually
he likes
gives
the
us
big
the
events.
halftime
He's
show.
a big event sports guy. He likes the big games.
Yeah,
the championship games.
I feel Shoggy would have probably, knowing how he breaks things down. I could feel Zacticum. Thanks for filling up my water again. Boy, is this guy good on the waters?
I'll be giving you a tip later on.
Did you ever serve anywhere in Zacticum? Wow, you could. This guy could serve, right? Nice guy, good pour.
Yeah.
Thanks, Zacticum. That's great. I feel like Rashog probably would have been very impressed with the dancing of Usher. Or Ursher, or whatever they say.
Yeah, Luda and the whole bit. That's a halftime show for Shoggy, hey? That's right in his wheelhouse.
Yeah. What do you think? On a scale of 1 to 10, what do you give the halftime show? I put it at a 7. Didn't absolutely love it. Don't think it'll be very memorable. But at the same time, I enjoyed the display.
It's a 5 for me.
The costumery. The roller skates. You put it at a 5.
I put it at a 5. It doesn't move the needle for me at all. Is that bad? 6? Maybe I'll give it a 6.
Guys, the Ravens will be tough to get close next year. They've lost several coaches and will lose even more players in free agency.
Yeah, and the AFC.
Good point on the coaches. Good point on the coaches. But you know what happens when you lose players in free agency? You can add players in free agency. That's always my favorite part. You're losing all these guys, but who are they getting? Right? That always gets you. That always gets you very excited.
In, yeah.
Scott, the Chiefs fan, is in. You can dispute the Chiefs. You can dislike the Chiefs. You can disrespect the Chiefs. But you're going to have to deal with the Chiefs. Super Bowl champs, baby. That's Scott, the Chiefs fan. That sounds very much like a hustler.
Burner. Yeah,
that's a Huss burner account.
It's totally him.
That's exactly what Huss says all the time.
That sounded exactly lockstep, word for word, what he would say.
Part of me is very happy Huss is in Mexico this week. He's not going to be on the lock
He's
shop.
not joining. Okay, yeah.
No. I mean, I could see him connecting today in his luchador mask
tap dancing,
from
right,
Mexico just for a victory lap.
I'd love it.
I wouldn't be surprised
Love it.
if that was the case. The doc is in and says a guy in radio who doesn't moonlight as a server/bartender, unheard of. Yeah, a lot of us had side gigs for a long time.
I never.
No, you never did.
I never served. You never served.
No, I never served. I would have liked to serve. My mom always thought I'd be a good server. Now, with that being said, my mom would think I'd be good at anything. But she always thought I'd be a good server.
Wiping the bar,
I'd like to serve. I'd make funny jokes with people.
Yeah.
I do all that type of stuff.
Regulars and everything. Like,
But I want to serve at like the keg in a nice suit.
Oh, so you're doing the tables. I thought you'd be more behind the bar, towel over the shoulder type of thing. Hey,
not me.
Hey, Norm or whatever.
No, I wanna say, oh, your twice baked potato will be out shortly.
Would you like bread?
That's what I want to say. Papa Bear's in and says, my 69-year-old mother was able to identify both Ludacris and Little John, as she says.
Little John, yes. I
Little
love it.
John.
Yes.
All right, who wants to play Kind of Easy Trivia today? We've got a gift certificate to Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual, where they do have 6 o'clock or lager on tap. No big deal. If you would like to play Kind of Easy Trivia today, all you have to do is text the boys right now, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Let Trev and Zacticum know that you would like to play Kind of Easy Trivia today, and one of you have a chance to win a gift certificate to Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual. Just looking at the questions. I did these questions before the Super Bowl yesterday, before I came here. So let me just make sure they're not dated. Let me see here.
Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
Oh, that's a good one. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, yep, that's going to work. Yep. You should get this. 780-218-9999 if you want to, if you would like to play today. 780-218-9999. 3 questions too many on the way as well. Kansas City Chiefs, are they a dynasty? 3 championships in 5 years. I don't want this to come across as like anti-Chiefs guy, but 3 and 5 is not good enough for me.
On the road, kind of. No.
Like if the Bombers pulled it off 3 and 4 with the other one being a loss, I think you give you that as the dynasty. The 3 and 4. Like if the Bombers go back this year and win again, that would be 3 and 5 and 2 finals losses. I don't know if I can go 3 and 5 as a dynasty. Now it helps that 2 of them are back to back. I mean, if they were to three-peat next year, obviously it's no doubt.
Look, you can dispute it. You can dislike it. You can even disrespect it. But you're going to have to deal with it.
780-218-9999. And we'll get to a few of your questions coming up. Let's get to a sports update for Claiborne Services. If you are looking for work, look no further. They are legit hiring now. We're not just saying that. You can visit their website, Claiborne Services. He's got a number you can just text. If you're looking for work and you want to be paid well, Claiborne Services have you covered. Let's get to an update with LTE.
Patrick Mahomes, your Super Bowl MVP as the Chiefs make it back-to-back championships. He tossed a 3-yard touchdown pass to McCole Hardman in overtime. Kansas City over the Niners 25-22 in Super Bowl 58. Nick Taylor with an 11-foot birdie putt, beating Charlie Hoffman on the second playoff hole. He captures the Phoenix Open Waste Management with his second memorable victory. Taylor closing with a 665. Just 2 games in the NHL yesterday. JT Miller with the overtime winner. Canucks over Washington 3-2 in the Blues. All over Montreal 7-2. St. Louis have won 7 of 8. Oilers back home to host Detroit tomorrow. 4 games around the NHL tonight. Vegas hosts Minnesota. Calgary visit the Rangers. And Seattle are in New Jersey. Grand Prairie topping Drayton Valley 3-2 in AJHL action as the schedule resumes tomorrow with a pair of games. And the Raptors are back on the court tonight. One of 10 games around the NBA. Sports update brought to you by Claiborne Services. Take your career to the next level with Claiborne Services. They are hiring all positions, including journeyman bricklayers and apprentices of all levels. Take advantage of their outstanding mentorship program and work with peace of mind, knowing they are an industry leader in safety. Visit www.claiborneservices.com or make it easy. Give Jeff a call, 780-910-6728.
What say you? Hey, nasty crew. We got the Nielson flu. Well, there's nothing we can do about it. What say you? Hey, nasty crew. My wife thinks I got better things to do, but there's nothing I can do about it. We're tuning in, We're listening online. We catch up with the podcast when we fall behind. We're texting in the nasty chat what's on our mind. 70218-9999. No more interference from corporate interest. Just Dusty and Eric and all of the bad cats. Like Brzezinski and Noodles. Gadget can gauge it. Maybe slip over to cool bed to make a little wager. We can't wait for the Monday Mandate. Sharky's always on time. Tommy's always late.
Would you like a cup of tea?
Forget about the old place. Hey, we were number one in the text race. We don't miss all the commercial breaks, but we sure miss Nickelback today. We wanna hear some Huntix and we wanna hear Renee. Why not hold the neck up when I wanna kiss away? Beat left the tire fire and remember that name. We love every goal song, but what about the games? Macramella, Rapapo, Dragger and Tenier. It ain't Christmas season, but they sound like reindeer. Button and my cousin and the tales of the North. All about him given person, Dusty go on. What say you? AM Nasty Crew. We got the Nielson show flu. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it.
8:06 with the AM Nasty. Thank you very much for being here. We are on location, Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge. All of our shows today will be here. If you want to swing by a little bit later on, once things actually open up, you can slide on in and check out Oil Stream today and Lock Shop and the Hangout coming up here right away as well. It is not our only on-location show of the week. Just the morning show will be on location on Thursday. And we will be set up for RV show. We're looking forward to this. We're getting inside the RV. I got to live in these things. That'll be 17303 100th Ave, Edmonton's only free RV show. We're looking forward to it.
Free entertainment, yeah.
Free entertainment. That's what I'm talking about.
That's where it's at.
Yeah. Look at these little R-pods. I'm seeing those things cruising around. How many of those sleep? And can I stand up in it? We're going to find out. I want to be one of those. Like, I want to do the show on Thursday.
Standing up. In an RV.
Like an RV that has a really comfortable chairs, like the big chairs, like a recliner, your
own, not a couch type of.
Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want.
Much like your massage at the airport.
Same
type of energy.
That had to be the worst massage chair of all time.
Well, come on,
all it did was hurt me the entire time.
You get half of your money back. You only got half the massage, right?
Every single time. All right, who's playing today?
What's up, boys?
Well, look who it is.
Yeah. Sorry, it took a little while, but today we have Travis.
Travis is gonna play. The story I took a little while. What time did you go to bed last night?
Okay, well that's the thing. The last time I looked at my clock, it was like 5, and so I was like, I'm staying up all night, and then next thing I know, it was like 6:39. I think I looked, and my phone's dead. So, oh my gosh, but it's okay. I made it, so I'm sorry.
Where were you though?
I stayed. Yeah.
You got a room here, right?
I got a room here. Yeah. But I do apologize.
All good, buddy.
I'm sorry, Dustin.
All right, I'm sorry, Dustin. It's all good. You're here, right? We all learn,
of course,
along the way. All right, Travis is going to play today. Travis, good morning, man. You ready to go?
Absolutely, boys. Let's do it.
All right, I will start the ticker after I read the first question. Trying to get your hands on that gift certificate to Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual, the casualest place ever in the Hampton Inn on the corner of 137th Ave and Mark Messier Trail. Now with the 6 o'clocker lager on tap, you need to get 3 of the 5 questions correct, and that will get you the gift certificate to Mr. Mike's. Here we go. Good luck, man. Which team won the Super Bowl yesterday?
Chiefs.
Which player won Super Bowl MVP?
Patrick Mahomes.
Who did the Oilers lose to on Saturday?
Los Angeles.
What position does Matthias Ekholm play?
Defense.
Which football league begins free agency tomorrow?
Suck it, Calgary.
Ooh, jeez. A suck it, Calgary.
No! No! Oh, my God. Damn it, Shake, stop it!
They are going to remember that AM radio is a viable and modern source for news and entertainment. Totally. People don't listen to AM like they used to. Seems like it's more about FM and color TV. That's stupid. It sure is, Kevin.
I'm stoked. You stoked?
I'm stoked.
Just so stoked.
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
Monday morning Club Beat Loop. That was a clapper into an empty net on the Calgary
That's what it
Flames.
is. That's what it is. Yeah,
Somewhere
yeah.
Morgan Riley's about to cross-check Travis in the head. Sorry, Trav. Gonna be going into Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual with an open wound.
They'll take care of you.
That's not.
They
gonna
don't
be
care.
Good.
Yeah.
GSM is in and says Mahomes, only 28 years old, has 3 Super Bowls. If he reaches 5, he'll be considered better than Brady by the great majority, not the minority.
Well, when he reaches 5.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to get it. I mean, he's already put himself in the conversation.
Age
Maybe
on
be
the
the greatest
side, yeah.
quarterback ever. Add a couple more of those bad boys, and it might be. Well, we'll see. Let's wait and let's see how it plays out. Lots can change, but boy, do they sure look. They sure look. I'm not going to say they look great. They just find a way. Like Patrick Mahomes just finds a way. I mean, the way he found the way yesterday was 330 yards, whatever it was, 60-some on the ground. He was sensational. He was sensational. Can you do his Kermit voice right now?
Well, it was quite a time, quite a journey, and all on the road as well.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
And the real things that Travis Kelce was yelling at Andy Reid, 780-218-9999.
Yeah. What was Travis Kelce
The
actually saying to
real
Andy
things.
Reid?
Yeah.
What was there's no way you two Trev will be into work on time tomorrow. That's what Travis Kelce was yelling at Andy
Easy
Reid.
path for text of the
What
day.
was Travis Kelce yelling at Andy Reid?
Real answers.
780-218-9999. YouTube Trev was hanging out at my house trying to figure out how to get a hold of Ryan Rashad since he's missed 3 Mondays in a row. I was trying to give him pointers. Thanks for the awesome night last night, Atif.
He was center of a lot of big photographs, right over there on
we
those
were
steps.
the man in the chair. We
Man
were
in the
lifting him
chair.
up. We were putting him on top. We're getting good pictures. So I was sitting there with Atif last night here at the party, and he put together a song, like just a video of him. And
yes,
he sent it to me twice.
Yes. Well, one
but
sentence is too long.
Neither of them worked.
Yeah.
Like, I got them. They arrived. But the problem is that they came in too, like, it didn't load well enough. And I was going to play it on the show today, but it just didn't come through well enough.
Better quality, Atif.
Yeah. It's tough. But I listened to it yesterday. I was laughing my ass off. It was like a little Super Bowl sort of song from Atif, which was great. All right, so what was Travis Kelce yelling at?
Real answers only.
Yeah. Keep those rolling in. Travis Jack says, Sam Gagner has actually been pretty effective. Sam Gagner's sitting here watching. He's got more goals combined than Matthias Janmark and Connor Brown, but those two guys are still getting rolled out there.
There's just something with old the garlic man, Nobber. Just doesn't see eye to eye. He's just not his guy. Guys have guys, right? But
Travis to Andy, you were not the same age as those other kids at pass punt kick. Remember that? The pass punt kick.
Travis yelling, I dropped the ring, put me back in so I can find it.
Yeah. Where's that from? I dropped the ring, put me back in so I can find it. Is that from a movie?
I think it's just a potential proposal, right? To I don't think it's.
No, that's it, you think? Kelce to Reed. You rank In and Out over Shake Shack.
You don't put ketchup on a steak, Andy. You just don't. It's not right. Mark the Sparky. I could see Reed being a ketchup guy on the steak.
780-218-9999 if you want to get in on what Travis Kelce was yelling in the face of Andy Reid, and we'll certainly get to that one. Guys, joining late this morning, but can we change YouTube Trev's handle to Milk Carton Trev? Did you see somebody on Twitter today?
Surveyor Brett?
Somebody on Twitter put out an image.
RCN?
Was it RCN? Put out an image of YouTube Trev on a milk carton.
What am I missing?
Well, people go missing sometimes. They end up on milk cartons, Trev.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah. That's what it
okay,
is.
Okay.
Yeah. But you're here now, so
yeah. My phone died. Oh my gosh. I set my alarm too. Like I don't know.
When your phone dies.
Oh, I'm just seeing this now. That's amazing.
That's one of the best Photoshops I've ever seen.
Yeah, not bad.
So how did you even wake up?
I don't know. I all of a sudden I had a gut instinct, I feel like, and then I looked at the clock and I'm like, oh no. Yeah. And I just jumped down here, yeah, but we made my way, and it was fun. But can I quickly just say, what a fantastic night. I am sorry, I do apologize for being late, but I can't get over how much fun I had last night, and so kind of your guys' fault. I had so much fun.
The whole place knows you had fun.
Yeah, it was amazing. We all had so much fun. It was literally the best thing ever. So yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait for next year.
Well, yeah, it'll be a good time, ladies and gentlemen. YouTube Trev showing up today. Zacticum was up late too. Yeah, I don't know how he got up either.
He just goes. Hey,
Yeah.
he's kind of on the same level.
Yeah, and he's always smiling.
Yeah. Like not any worse for wear, but
No, not at all. All right, let's get into 3 questions too many today. We've got I Says Pardon coming up as well. We'll go there. I'm going to circle back around to something Mike Johnson said when he joined us today for I Says Pardon. But we'll do that around 8:30 today. Ryan Rashog unable to join us. There's no internet in Saskatoon, so he could not join us. He'll be back next Monday, and we'll have his thoughts. Have I talked to Shoggy since before the Spengler?
Oh, in the new year? You might have to say Happy New Year.
I'm trying to think. Maybe one time I talked to him since then. So anyway, he'll be back hopefully next Monday. Looking forward to chatting with him. Might still have to circle back around to the Usher halftime show just to get the official review. Lieutenant Eric, let's get to 3 questions too many. Do you have a liner for the segment today?
Sure do. 3 questions too many, brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda, where Travis Kelsey was yelling at Andy Reid to buy your next vehicle at Park Mazda. Park Mazda, your dealer for life. ParkMazda.ca online.
You better go see Mitch, or else. You know this guy Mitch Lewicky? Yeah, he's the best. Do you have a Twitter handle?
I do. It's at Lieutenant_Eric. You can follow me, but also follow Edmonton Sports Talk, all the levity and everything else from last night, and a few things from this morning as well. But you can relive yesterday. Jay Milne was doing a lot of good camera work as well. The Godfather, T. Roy, we spent some time in his room as well. Good stuff. Good food, good drink. You can relive it all yesterday, and a few things from this morning as well, all on Twitter.
All right, question number 1. Guys, what was the most memorable moment from yesterday's Super Bowl party?
I'm up.
Yeah,
I have
Did you win out there?
Yeah. I got a cash out later.
Serious?
Oh yeah.
You got some chips on you right now?
Not chips, a
Oh,
paper,
oh,
paper
yeah, paper
receipt.
ticker, yeah.
I played the machine, and Vegas. Yes, you may have bested me, but not Century Casino Sports Bar
Everybody
Lounge,
was
baby.
winning here last night. Like people were
Milne
doing
was
pretty
on
well.
a heater.
Oh, Milne was all over the place.
Legendary heater.
I feel like Milne is still in this building somewhere.
Could be.
I could see it
Could
happen.
be.
There was one moment where I looked over and they had the tower of 6 o'clocker loggers, and Milne was like standing at the top of it. Then I went over, put on the final 2, and then it was Renee, I think, who threw a football at it.
Uh-oh.
That was you, right? Yeah.
And
that's
the
what I thought.
TV now doesn't work, yada, yada, yada.
And, anyway, something happened. And
Something happened.
But the tower of 6 o'clocker loggers was amazing. We'll just say that. Also, when YouTube Trev's girlfriend rolled in.
Where is she, by the way?
like
Is she still here?
She got like a standing ovation.
Yeah, she's sleeping.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. She wouldn't tell me that she liked it, but I know she liked it. It was insane. I don't know. We were just walking in, and next thing I know, everyone. It was Glue Guy. Glue Guy's just like, everyone, YouTube Trev's girlfriend. Next thing I know, we're getting like a standing O from everyone, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I did not plan this. And people were asking me like, did you just propose? Like, what's going on? I'm like, no, like I'm walking in right now. I don't know what's going on. So it was kind of funny, but yeah, that was amazing. I loved it.
Anyway, you got to be here next year for the Super Bowl party. It was a lot of fun. Question number 2. This is what I'm here for. Full-blown CFL free agency coverage tomorrow, right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. This question is, how big of a splash do you guys expect the Elks to make during free agency? On a scale of like a cannonball on a 1 to 10. Number 1 is you're like just sliding in off the edge of the pool, and number 10 is you're full-blown making everybody leave the whole water.
I say it's kind of like that running into the pool where you like run and then you get the deeper water and it gets up to like your knees and the mid thigh, and then you start like you slow down. Like there's a bit of there'll be like a signing or two that makes you but nothing of a big splash. Nothing constitute a swan dive or a cannonball.
Well, they've already brought in MBT.
Yeah.
Like, that was kind of the big thing that you would expect.
They're not doing anything with the offensive line.
I'm going to say,
Right.
I don't know, like.
No, it's running in. It's running in. You're going to have a few splashes, but nothing, no big, like.
So you don't think there's a moment tomorrow with the Elks where we go, wow.
No.
Can't believe that happened.
No.
I think there might be.
The only can't believe it happened is they don't do anything to the offensive line.
Well, maybe there's still an offensive lineman coming.
A new offensive line.
Oh.
The only splash would be an entirely new offensive line. 5 for 5.
I think there'll be a splash on the defensive side of the ball. That'll make
like
us
a
go
big
like,
splash?
oh, wow. Well, that kind of has to be.
Well, on the line, you're thinking on the line, right? It's got to be on the defensive line.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. BB is in and says they'll sign 3 more quarterbacks. They are signing a lot of quarterbacks. Yeah. It's going to be interesting competition come training camp. All right, question number 3. Many of you will want to chime in on this one. We hit it a little bit earlier in the show, but it's come back around in the Paris Jewelers inbox at 780-218-9999, Paris Jewelers inbox. If you're looking for something for Valentine's Day, they have a gift for every budget, and you can go visit them, www.parisjewelers.com. Could win text of the day today for A&W, which is a gift certificate to A&W, where they've got a new special that we'll circle back around to here a little bit later on in the third hour of the show. What was the most concerning thing about the Edmonton Oilers' loss to the Los Angeles Kings?
This was the best thing about that night. And
that
yours
goes
does
so good
Maybe the
still.
concerning thing is yours doesn't work anymore, and that's really bugging me. But
that sucks.
Terrible. And the string broke.
I know.
The lack of goals.
Yeah,
They
that's a big one.
went on a streak. They didn't lose. They lost to the Golden Knights, which was palatable in a sense that this is it's 2-1 empty net, 3-1 whatever. But getting shut out by a Kings team that's been faltering. Now you can say new coach bump, whatever it is, but getting shut out.
New coach bump.
Shut out.
New coach
It's like
bump,
getting goalied.
new
It's the new
coach
getting
schmump.
goalied. Yeah. No, it's the shutout. It's the lack of, because we were talking about this during the winning streak and just a drier offense, not one that needed. They're not pumping teams 6-7 goals here or there. But yeah, getting shut out, first time in a long time. I think that speaks volumes to me.
I would wonder. Like, we saw some text messages earlier today from people saying the Oilers have a goal scoring problem, and I don't think they've got a goal scoring problem.
They're too defensive. Is that what you're like? That'd be
Well,
the.
I mean, but it's not a goal scoring problem. Is there an offensive depth issue? Maybe, but to say the Oilers have a problem scoring goals just because they were shut out by the Kings.
But again, it's not just that. It's going back to that win streak, right? Like they weren't blowing teams out by any sense. They were winning. But the offensive has been, compared to the Oilers that we knew. This Oilers team that we know.
Okay,
so.
that's fair.
And maybe it all sums up with a shutout to a reasonably good team.
And this must be why everybody seems so like they're linked to every top 6 forward that could possibly be available.
Yeah. Well, which one's gonna make it work?
Morning, fellas. The fact that the Oilers couldn't score, even though they had some great chances, overall the team played well. They just couldn't score. Love the show. That's in from Rob.
What are your thoughts on that? Because
I didn't
think they
played well.
No, that's just it.
I didn't think they played well. I thought Connor McDavid had a super rare off night. Nuge was pretty much invisible. Tough night for the top line. I'm curious what they've got there in Draisaitl, Perry, and Kane, though. Like, I don't think it's going to change the need to go out and get a top 6 forward, and then you just bump Perry down, and him or Fogle are on the fourth line, maybe help the fourth line a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I guess the most concerning thing would be the lack of goal scoring against the Kings. But I don't see goal scoring being a major issue for the Edmonton Oilers.
You'd hope it isn't.
Like, if do the Oilers get to the playoffs and we go, well, the reason that they didn't advance this year is because they couldn't score goals. Is that what ends up happening here? Because 780-218-9999. Paris Jewelers inbox, or you can hit us up in the nasty chat. Do you honestly believe offense is an issue for the Edmonton Oilers? Because I'm not there.
Yet.
Goals for per game this season. Only 5 teams score more goals per game than the Edmonton Oilers. How can offense or lack of offense be an issue?
Well, let's...
Toronto, here's the top 6 goal-scoring teams in the National Hockey League. Vancouver, 3.68. The Canucks are actually winning games on average by more than a goal per game. Pretty impressive. Colorado, 3.66 goals per game. Dallas, 3.65. The Red Wings, 3.49. Toronto, 3.44. And the Edmonton Oilers, 3.42. Now, here's the one thing that the Oilers have going for them. In that group of top 6, this is something we wouldn't have said about the Oilers for the last few years. But in that group of the top 6 highest scoring teams in the league, and we can throw Tampa in there 7 because they have 3.42, the same as the Edmonton Oilers. The only team in there that allows less goals per game than the Oilers is the Vancouver Canucks. The Canucks allow 2.58 goals per game. The Oilers allow 2.79. All of those other high-scoring teams we just discussed are all over 3 goals against per game. So, no, offense isn't an issue. Do they want to go out and add another top 6 forward? Sure. If you can make it work, fine, do it. But I don't think they don't get the job done in the playoffs because of offense.
You play that game again, they're winning 4-0.
They could. I just think the only area you'd be concerned with offense is that, I don't know how much offense you need from your fourth line, but you're not going to get any ever. And you'd like, I think, in the playoffs to put out a fourth line that can make a little bit of an impact. This isn't that group. This trio is not it. They are a 3-line team come playoff time, and I won't be convinced otherwise.
Connor losing his mind multiple times. Captains don't do that. Senior Boots, that was mentioned as well in the nasty chat. Senior Boots text that in. Any thoughts on that? And Captain Connor,
I mean, you want to see a captain be fired up.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that. I mean, if it gets to the point where in the playoffs he's losing his cool and picks up a misconduct or something, then yeah, dial it in. But what do you want? You just want Connor McDavid going through the motions? That's the last thing you want. If Connor McDavid is as fired up as he is right now in the middle of the second half of the regular season, that's great news. I don't have an issue with that at all.
Nate in Vegas says they're leaning on 97 too much as of late in terms of the offense.
Yeah, I mean, they're all...
But
you're always going to lean on the best player in the world for offense. That's just how it works.
Yeah, right. But if you're saying it's 3 lines, like that's not... I feel like we're taking crazy pills here. And Groundhog Day, like you're going into the playoffs 3 lines and a fourth line that can't score or can't play, right? Like it's not a recipe for success. Maybe to get a wild card, but not a cup.
The Naj is in and says, if you analyze the past 20 games, offense is a problem.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, but you know what they've also been doing the last 20 games?
Winning.
Not allowing anything.
Sure, and that's good.
You know what? You know how much offense you need? You need enough to outscore the other team.
Yeah.
And if you can outscore the other team with fewer goals because you're actually playing sound defense, that's okay too.
But if that other team figures out your sound defense,
well, what do you want here? Do you want
then it's an issue. Well, you want to be a well-rounded team.
But they are a well-rounded team. They're 7th in the league in scoring. And we're seeing here going, oh, they've got a scoring issue.
Overall.
Meanwhile, they went through a stretch there where they allowed 18 goals against in 14 games.
But I think in this stretch, too, they haven't allowed much, but they also haven't kind of gone out and flexed their muscle. That would be the argument there.
I don't think you can sit here and go, for years, they need to be sound defensively, offense doesn't matter. And then they become sound defensively, and people are like, yeah, but they can't score. You can't have...
You want to win 7-0, though. That's the goal.
Come on. And then Naj follows it up and says, yeah, but you can't expect Stu to play as good as he was all the time. Yeah, but it wasn't like Stuart Skinner was stealing games during the winning streak.
It was a defensive.
Stuart Skinner was just playing steady hockey. The team in front of him was playing really well. He wasn't facing a ton of shots. He's putting up like a nice 9.25 for the stretch. Like, I don't know. It just seems... I know your end goal is to build the perfect hockey team. Where you score 4 goals per game, you allow 2.05 goals per game. But that's just not realistic. You're living in a fantasy land. That's I don't think that can be the case. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Or you can hit us up in the nasty chat as well. And we will get to a few of those as we work our way through the rest of the show. All right, let's get into I Says Pardon. I says pardon. We have a lot of I says pardons here. I got a good one. I says pardon brought to you by Lawyer Central. Get a clean slate for an affordable rate. Man, does that have a nice ring to it, doesn't it? Everybody makes stupid mistakes. If you're still paying for it, you don't have to. Visit www.lawyer-central.com/pardons or call 1-888-288-8177. That's www.lawyer-central.com/pardons or 1-888-288-8177 to find out more about getting a pardon. And they've got lawyers all across the country. Last night, obviously, after the Super Bowl, the party's on here at the Century Casino. So I missed a lot of the post-game stuff. Mike Johnson brought it up today when he joined us during his hockey hit. But he brought up the fact of Niners players not knowing the overtime rules.
That's tough.
I says, pardon? How are you in the Super Bowl and not aware of the overtime rules in the Super Bowl? How does that happen? That blows my mind. Imagine, and I always circle back around because we're obviously very pro CFL. We love both leagues. You can love both leagues. You don't have to be
football.
A cool guy over here. You don't have to be a cool guy over
football,
here.
Yeah.
But I do always circle it back around to if this would have happened in the Canadian Football League and it would have come out that CFL players didn't know the overtime rules, people would be like, well, that's just because it's a bush league. Meanwhile, you've got Niners players last night in their postgame saying they didn't know the overtime rules. I says, pardon? How that's a coaching staff issue. It's a having knowledge of the league you play in professionally issue.
I never even thought about the CFL rub.
That wasn't even one guy.
Wow,
it was multiple
if
guys.
that would have happened.
Well, can you imagine that?
Wow, the fume. Oh, the fume.
Oh, people would.
We would never hear the end of it.
Never live it down.
Never
live it down.
And as you mentioned, and Mike Johnson threw out his points about overtime and everything, like the CFL, this is the next step, right? The NFL will come back and say, oh, we have this new, new overtime, and it's thought up by us, and it'll be like watching the CFL with NFL rules.
Kyle Juszczyk, Eric Armstead. I didn't even know about the new playoff overtime rule, so it was a surprise to me. I didn't even really know what was going on in terms of that. This is overtime in the Super Bowl, and you don't know what the rules are? That's just crazy. Niners coach Kyle Shanahan said he and his analytics staff discussed overtime possibilities before the game. But Armstead and fullback Kyle Juszczyk both said that overtime strategy was not discussed with 49er players leading up to the Super Bowl. And then Juszczyk says, you know what? I didn't even realize the playoff rules were different in overtime. I assume you just want the ball to go score a touchdown and win. Yeah. So
analytics again, eh?
I says pardon. In a professional, the league, the football league,
biggest league in the world.
You don't know. I don't even know how that. I don't even know how this is possible. It doesn't make any sense to me. None at all whatsoever.
And the whole Super Bowl week, Vegas and all that, it's for not knowing the overtime rules. They can get to that end point, and you don't know the. Shut it all down. Shut it all down. I don't know. I don't
CFL
angle,
how
though,
does that even work?
You would get roasted.
You'd never hear the end of it.
Roasted.
Only NFL guy would be all up in all the texts and DMs, just being like, well, if these guys knew the rules, they'd probably be playing in the NFL right now. Yeah, well, now what do you say?
Silence, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but Jason and Leduc makes a good point. Not true, Dusty. CFL players are unaware of the rules all the time. The Rouge, 100%. And what happens? What happens when a CFL player doesn't understand the rules?
We never hear the end of it.
You never hear the end of it.
And then we want to change the rule.
Yeah.
There's
a big difference between CJ Sims not understanding the Rouge, which is a very unique Canadian game rule.
Exactly. Yeah.
To in the Super Bowl, the Niners don't know the rule. Anyway, I thought that was kind of crazy. So that'll be I says pardon today. Get a clean slate for an affordable rate. www.lawyer-central.com/pardons or call 1-888-288-8177 and let them take care of it. Maybe you made a mistake back in your younger years. You've got a record and you can't travel here. You can't work there. Now you can. Get it done. Lawyer-central.com/pardons. See, Tim's in there. He says, as long as coaches know the rules, that's all that matters. Well, not necessarily. I think in general, you want the players to know the rules of the sport that they're playing on the biggest stage. In all the professional sports.
You put them in positions, but then they're out there doing their, like, it's not like it's a static move. You don't just put them out there and they stay until you move them. They're out there and they're doing their own thing. So the coach does need to put them in positions to win, but the player on the field needs to be aware of, the time, everything like that.
Renato's in and says the rules got changed with the Bills game when they didn't get the ball. Remember, we know when the rules got changed. The fact that the Niners aren't aware of it, or some of them aren't aware of it, is just...
It's the big game. It's the big game, so...
That's crazy to me. All right, let's get back to more here on the Edmonton Oilers, 780-218-9999. And
Jason Leduc says it's the PP. GSM says the numbers don't tell the truth about the team. They weren't a bad team first 25. They're not a great team because they went on a 16-game win streak. They are a good team. Good. The pendulum has swung, and now we're kind of in that middle ground.
Okay, that's an interesting. So are the Oilers just a good team?
A good team. Maybe that's all. We've been searching high and low, win streaks, terrible start to the season. Maybe they're just good.
780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Are the Edmonton Oilers just a good team? They look like a trash team for the first month and a half. Then they look like an amazing team for 2 months. Now they've lost to, of all the teams to lose to.
Telling, isn't it?
The Knights and the Kings are just, those are the two you got to beat.
Yeah.
Right? Those are the ones that you have to beat.
And
so
built to beat you, as in the Oilers. Like they like a thorn in the side.
That's why I have time for, if they would have lost to, I don't know, pick a team. New Jersey and...
Columbus.
Nobody loses to Columbus.
Chicago.
Phoenix.
Arizona.
Let's just say Arizona. Okay, so Arizona. You lose those games, you're like, whatever. It's the Knights and the Kings which make it. I think I have time for why Oilers fans would be frustrated. I thought for sure after they win 16 in a row, they're going to drop a couple, and I'm going to be like, everybody needs to calm down. It's ridiculous to freak out after they won 16 in a row.
Yeah.
And at that point, what was it, 24-27? But because it was the Golden Knights and because it was the Kings, I totally understand why some of you would be kind of doubting again a little bit. I get it.
Blue Jackets, Leafs, Blackhawks, Red Wings. All bad teams.
So are the Oilers just a good team right now? 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999.
I call the Leafs a bad team.
Bring up the rest. This
is
I want the next schedule.
Okay, yeah. Well, here you go. 3 out of the next 5, though. Red Wings in town tomorrow. Blues are playing.
Should win it, but not easy for sure. The Wings are legit.
The Wings, yeah. But then the Blues, 7 of 8, they've won. You're going into St. Louis. They're chasing it down a wild card spot. That's Thursday. Saturday, you're in Dallas. Matinee game.
Right? Against Jake Ottinger and the Stars.
Another goalieing. Then you go to Arizona, Monday afternoon. And then the Bruins are in town, Wednesday, February 21. So
that's a big one.
Those are your next 5. 3 on the road, 2 at home, kind of bookended by the home games, and then 3 on the road in the middle. So
you almost feel like you take 3 of those, you'd probably be happy.
Yeah, I'd say so.
No. 3-1-1 would be good.
Red Wings played them tough, too, in Detroit earlier on. I think that was during the streak. I don't know. We talked about the schedule now, getting a little more condensed, a little more crunched, right? And I think those teams during the streak, again, I'll just say, they were a little light. And I know that you said you just got to win the games. The games are in front of you, you win them, and they did that. But it is funny, and it is telling when you run into these 2 divisional opponents who are built to beat you. And yes, the Vegas game, that could have went either way, but getting shut out by the Kings on the back of a coaching change. They as Mike Johnson pointed out, they started off, that's a good roster and a good team. But have they woken up again, right? They've had their little time off. Maybe now the coaching thing gets them bumped up. But it's tough sledding. This is like the AFC, right? I'd say the Pacific, it's tough. You can't take days off. You can't take nights off. And even going on a 16-game winning streak or whatever it is, you're still where you are.
Well, they
That
needed
says
to,
something.
they needed the 16
They
game
needed
win
to get
streak
back
to
into
get
the
back
thing,
into
yeah.
the mix, right?
But even doing that
that's
in
the
any
key.
other, division or any other sport for crying out loud, you rifle off something like that, you'd be like, well, you're top of the charts here. Vancouver's still doing what they're doing. Like it's big boy hockey, this division and conference.
All right, let's. It's quite the pendulum.
Oh,
The pendulum
she's
is swinging.
baby. That's a weighted weight on that.
She's
puppy.
swinging.
Yeah.
And right now, like Oilers fans, frustration with the team is like one of those little ball things where like you pull the ball on this end and it just goes back and forth forever.
Yes.
That's what it is, right? Boom, 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 boom. That's what this is.
RJ says they're a top 10 team in the league in terms of rankings. And
That's that's reasonable.
Delta Golf says Oilers are one of 5 or 6 cup favorites. They will win more than they lose and sometimes lose 4-0 or 5-1. Oh, well, calm down, everyone. Delta Golf.
I was like, what do you say?
Telling
how
Oilers
many
fans
contenders?
to calm down. One of 5 or 6.
Boston's a contender. Florida's a contender. I don't know if we view. Toronto's not a contender. Sorry, they're going to be eliminated.
I called them a bad team in my earlier ramble.
I
there.
know that was hilarious.
Well, let me
that was a real funny bad team joke. I don't know where I come out on. I don't know where I come out on Tampa. I would think the Rangers are contenders. I'm not sure Carolina's viewed as a contender. Fringe contender. Flyers, Islanders. Sorry, nothing. Dallas, Colorado, Winnipeg would be contenders. Canucks are contenders. Knights are contenders. Oilers are contenders. You know, I'd say it's probably about 10 Stanley Cup contenders right now. Like it's that group of 10 that somebody laid out a little bit earlier. The Naj says, when you think about it, the Oilers don't have 2 full top lines, and the bottom 6 can't score. This is a problem. When you have Bouchard not playing well, you can't afford any F-ups. Well, what's happened here? Like I thought McLeod popped. Didn't McLeod pop?
He popped,
I thought
baby.
McLeod popped. I thought
He
there was
popped.
supposed to be offense there on
Can't
the third
pop
line
forever.
because of the popping of Ryan
No.
McLeod.
No.
Is that no longer a thing? Is McLeod unpopped now? Is that happened? B Mother Review says teams can't sit back and wait for the Oilers to make a mistake, or they can sit back and wait for the Oilers to make a mistake, and they almost always make a mistake. But these are the exact opposite things people were saying during the 16-game winning streak. Like it can't be the exact opposite. All right, during the winning streak, people were saying, the Oilers are just sitting back, playing their game, taking advantage of things. They weren't making the mistakes. Now, I mean,
They were also, though, there were some games where they'd play 2, maybe 1 period, and it was enough to get them a win. And you can do it in the situation, certain opponents, and you can dictate maybe having a subconscious night off, as they say, but it won't happen against these other teams. And you just went off serious cup contenders, the 5 or 6. Most of them you mentioned are residing in the West and in that Pacific. So I get it. Playing Chicago on a Tuesday night, you can, but going toe-to-toe with Vegas or the Kings in a playoff series, that's a different animal.
Kevin is in and says the LA game was a perfect storm for the Kings. LA had a long break, a coaching bump, and got the Oilers on the second of back-to-backs. Plus, I'll add to that, third game in 4 nights.
Okay, but long break, we were talking about rust as well, playing the Golden Knights, right? Like rust, knocking off rust.
Yeah.
You can always take the break good or bad, right? Depending on
Kings
what
didn't
angle
look
you
like
have.
they had any. Like
No.
the Kings look like they were ready
so
to go.
that's rested, but another team gets a week off and there's rust.
Kevin adds at the tail end of that, fans shouldn't be worried about this short stretch. They will be fine. D. White is in and says 17-3 in their last 20 games.
Yeah, and
we're upset with this team? What do they have to do to make us happy?
Well, Johnny accounted. The boys cannot take games off now. They are a very good team but need to work for it every game. And that's the start of the season. We said they'd have to go in a good clip, which they did here, but that can't stop now. And you can't be doing like 500 through you know what I'm saying? Like this needs to stop and you need to get back on the train again. You need to rifle off another one. Thank you so much, Zactigum.
Zactigum,
God, you're killing
the
it. This is
provider
amazing.
of H2O today.
So many waters.
All-time clutch move, buddy. Legendary. Way better than this guy. YouTube traps just hanging
Make
in
me
there
a sandwich.
by the seat of his pants. The Godfather is showing up as well. Godfather, how are you?
For his hangout debut.
He's got to be in rough shape today. I feel like the Godfather is going to be kind of quiet on the hangout today. Who's on the hangout today? Is Mike too?
Yeah, Maddie's
Maddie's
brother Mike, and
the Godfather,
Troy, and Tommy coming in hot.
Gazzola. Tommy Gazzola.
Coffees for everybody.
John from the Fort says, hey there, boys. Not good enough. Need a top 6 forward, a decent defensive defenseman, and you have to move Campbell, and that's not easy up to Holland and Jackson now, just saying.
Okay, yeah.
And if they could somehow pawn Campbell off and use that cap space, That'd be a major game changer.
Sure.
But how much are you, who's going to do it?
Who's going to?
And how much are you going to have to pay?
This is fantasy kind of now.
With that being said, I am in the full-blown category of there's no price that's too high to help this team during a cup run.
Is Campbell near or at the top of your trade bait board?
I want
Is that what you're saying here? Like I
want to take Low Tide's big old bag of dry powder and take a fire hose to it and just be like, shh, it doesn't matter. That's what I want to do. My goodness.
Big bag of dry powder.
Like no more dry powder in this city.
No.
Trade everything you have to trade.
All of it.
To try to win the Stanley Cup.
Throw in Jack Campbell as a sweetener if you need to.
Gord is in and says, 2 Awanics? Yeah, but they don't seem like... Yeah,
Oh,
wait
no.
Wait till you meet Matty.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
They're
if
exact
you've-
opposites.
Yeah. This will be a hangout not to miss because...
They're exact opposites.
Yeah, that Ionic household, that's a weird one, hey? Like,
Yeah.
straight down the line. It's
Yeah.
dividing. Like, it's
It
a
was
yin-yang
Troy, I
thing.
think, who said yesterday, he goes, I said to his dad, which one's adopted? Because they're very different.
It's amazing.
Very different.
It's amazing.
Hey, guys, I know you already talked about the Riley and Greg fiasco, but I was too busy to text in then. I have a thought. Is it against the code if a basketball player has a breakaway and does a huge slam dunk? Does he deserve retribution for doing a slam dunk on a breakaway? Do these guys want to see basketball players just doing lame layups for every breakaway? It's ridiculous.
Well, I think
Now-
that's how the Malice in the Palace started. It was a dunk, right?
Are you joking or is that?
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember.
It can't be. No, it's not a dunk.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, to the point. I mean, that's.
No, this was brought up. I saw this yesterday. By the way, that's a first-time texter. Thank you very much. Try to get in the mix for text of the day one day for A&W. This is a little bit different because the equivalent of this would be you're up by 12. There's 14 seconds left on the clock. You get a breakaway, and you decide to, go off the backboard, alley-oop it in. That is going to piss people off, and that'll cause a little bit of a scrum for sure, even in the association. But it's not going to draw a cross-check to the bloody head.
Tyrese
like that
Halliburton
idiot
did it
Morgan
over the
Riley.
weekend, right? The backboard.
Yeah, well, that was a cool backboard pass.
Yeah, the Kobe thing.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
nobody's like, oh, hey.
No, it's just.
I'm going to clock you behind the head. Or,
I think that's a little bit different. I think that's different. I appreciate the comparison, but slightly different than, players getting breakaways during a regular game and doing.
I think
dunks.
the
That's
lack
just
of
how
a
it works.
proper code as well probably plays in. Basketball has no codes, right? No rules.
Well, I mean, the one code thing
Hockey's
is like
rich in codeness, right?
once the game's kind of over, you just dribble it out.
Sure.
That's
That's the
kind
code.
of the basketball code thing, I think. Spency 5 cents, he says, Dusty, sweet Point Break shirt, too. Thanks, man. I was hoping
yeah.
somebody would recognize this. Back off, War Child. Seriously. Is that not great? Yeah. And it's one of my new favorites. Hampton Steve chimes in, 780-218. Matty, are you guys going to get to the whole Morgan Riley, Ridley Gregg thing today on the Hangout? Yeah, good.
They're going to reenact
I think that'd
it.
be a great discussion. What's that? Oh, yeah. He's probably cross-checked a few people in his day. Yeah. No, that'll be good. And Tommy Gazzola. Yeah. That'll be a good chat today on the Hangout. Losing to the Knights and Kings hurts because the Oilers could have really closed the gap in the standings on the Knights and put the Kings back far in the rearview mirror. Playoffs are still not a guarantee, and these two losses made things more difficult than they should be.
Well, and Propane Pimp says people bitching because they lost a lackluster game to LA. Settle the F down.
Oh, Propane Pimp.
It's February, and we are in a good spot standing-wise, so kind of dual texts there as well. Kind of.
Now
it's like two Ionic brothers here, kind of, two different opinions.
I think I wouldn't be worried about the playoffs necessarily. Like they'd have to.
Well, no, but we've said this experiment before. Look at the other teams in that wild card race, if you will, depending on if the Oilers finish third or in a wild card spot. Like who is going to be better than them?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, they're fighting for playoff positioning, so the gap against the Kings would have been nice.
Sure.
Because they only have one game in hand on the Kings, and the Kings are only 3 points back.
Right.
But when you
even
look at like St. Louis,
say the
Nashville,
Kings get the 3 spot. Who else?
Yeah.
Like Flames.
Well, I'm looking Nashville. Like if you just look at St. Louis,
Blues are turning it on lately.
St. Louis is 3 points back, but the Oilers have 3 games in hand.
Yeah.
The Preds are 5 points back, but the Oilers have 4 games in hand. The Flames are 6 points back, and the Oilers have 4 games in hand on them. So, like, their playoff spot, is relatively comfortable, barring another trip to the tank.
Look at those Flames, though. 6-4 over 10, winners of 4 in a row. 4 in a row for the Flames. Hey, Renee? 4 in a row. A small fist pump. Oh, did I say something I shouldn't have? You're just an observer of hockey, though. I think that's. Yeah. But no, you can't be scared of any of those. They'll go on little mini runs as well. The Blues are doing it right now. The Preds were kind of up and down, but you got to like your chances. If the Kings get into the third, that the Oilers will be a wild card team at least.
Yeah, they're
right?
They're going to be
right?
in the playoffs. They are going to be in the playoffs. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Let's get into the wrap for William Huff. If you want your place to look as good as ours, the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen Studio, which we will be back in tomorrow morning, get it done at William Huff, www.williamhuff.com. They've been doing it since 1972, so let them help you. I mean, these guys, they make anything look good. Vehicles, outside of buildings, inside of buildings. You want like the stand-up banner. We had our stand-up banner still over there. Look how sturdy that thing is. It's terrific. Got that at William Huff. Just they'll help you make your business, take your business to another level.
That lasted the entire NFL season, and it's coming back for another one, right? Those banners, those pull-ups.
Oh yeah, baby.
Come on.
All right, what'd you learn on the show today, buddy? This is a Virgin Caesar.
This monstrosity.
You haven't eaten anything on there.
No, I
man.
didn't. Well, I think they've been on there for. It's more for show, right? It's like the NBA Showtime. You got a chicken sandwich.
Zach, didn't you eat this? Yeah, Zach.
Eat it.
Zach
you
ate his.
have mine. You're a growing boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Good Virgin Caesar, great waters. We learned about doing a show at the Central Casino Sports Bar and Lounge, and now that we've done it, and this is like the setup here is immense.
This is great.
Like this is something else. But now we can do it again. We know we've been here. We can do it again.
I learned that YouTube Trev was officially the first Edmonton Sports Talk staffer to be late for a show. Don't have to hang your head, buddy.
We've all slept in.
It all
I've
happens.
slept in
I'm
multiple
sure.
times.
I mean,
you've texted me sometimes, like, hey.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like a bunch of us went to Vegas last week and got up at 4:30 every single day to do the show.
That's a good point. I don't want to bring that one up, but it goes good with your Vegas laugh too.
Yeah. I also we had a killer party here last night.
It was great.
6 o'clocker loggers, all the fun in the world.
I have a headache.
Glue guy was just trying to build the glue crew as hard as he could.
Oh, he was recruiting people.
Oh, he was recruiting people for the glue crew like crazy.
They were dropping their AM Nasty cards, burning them at the front, and he's giving them cards for the glue crew.
He was funding Zacticum's trips to the table.
Looked like King Kong with that 6 o'clocker logger tower there. He's screaming.
That was good. You should plan to join us next year for our Super Bowl party. It'll be a pretty good time. All right, let's get to your sound of the day today. I gotta come back around to the what say you, eh?
Yeah,
what say
absolutely.
You?
It's growing.
AM Nasty crew, and there's nothing you can do about it. Just a sec. The way this thing starts,
sure.
I mean,
we haven't had time to really dissect this thing. We've been on the road.
This might be my favorite part.
What say you? AM Nasty crew. We got the Nielson flu. Well, there's nothing we can do about it. What say you? AM Nasty crew. My wife thinks I got better things to do, but there's nothing I can do about it. We're tuning in, we're listening online. We catch up with the podcast when we fall behind. We're texting in the nasty chat, what's on our mind. 780-218-9999. No more interference from corporate interest. Just Tuffy and Eric and all of the bad cats. Like Brzezinski and Noodles, Gadrick and Gagin. Maybe it's fun, but a cool band to make a little wager. We can't wait for the Monday Mandate. Sharky's always on time. Tommy's always late.
Would you like a cup of tea?
Forget about the old place. Hey, we were number one in the text race. We don't miss all the commercial breaks, but we sure miss Nickelback today. We wanna hear some Huntix and we wanna hear Renee. Why not hold the neck up when I wanna kids away? Beat left the tire fire and remember that name. We love every goal song, but what about the Canes? Macramella, Rapaport, Drager and Tenier. It ain't Christmas season, but they sound like reindeer. But in the my cousin in the tales of the north. All about him given present, does he go on? What say you? AM Nasty Crew. We got the Nielson Trouble flu. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it.
Oh, there we go. That is your sound of the day. What say you from Jaunty in Victoria? We're going to be back in the studios tomorrow, Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen Studios. That'll be your last day to get the Ekholm Collector's Cup.
Yes.
We'll get into that on the oil stream a little bit later on today. We're going to be live here at Century Casino, the Sports Bar and Lounge, up until 1 o'clock today with all of our live Edmonton Sports Talk coverage. I also learned today that I took off my headphones there quickly, and everybody was like, dude, those are really, really, really loud. Really loud. I have to be at least 75% deaf. Like, it's insane.
Oh, yeah.
I even took them off, and I was like, oh, my God, these are so loud. Like, it's nuts.
And you don't have JMO around anymore to complain about it to you every day. Really.
I know. I got to do something about that. But there's nothing I can do
There's
about
nothing
it.
you can do about it, no.
But there's nothing I can do about it.
Survey Brett wants can count last night on the. We'll get the spreadsheet. We'll
Yeah.
get some sort of a figure. But they were being brought out by the steel pail. Hey, like there were pails of 6 o'clock or longer being brought out by the bar.
Oh, yeah,
I have
big
never
pails.
seen that can tower that Jay Milne had.
It was great.
Beautiful.
All in all, a pretty fun time.
We won the Super Bowl. Hey,
you know who won the Super Bowl? Everybody who was here.
You.
Trev won it. All right, let's see here. Text of the day today for A&W. This is good. This is going to spice things up in your life. A&W is introducing their new Spicy Piri Piri Buddies. And they're only $3.99 each. Each burger features the new Spicy Piri Piri sauce, layers of crisp whole leaf lettuce, sliced tomato, red onion, all served with your choice of a chicken patty, beef patty, or a hash brown patty. How about that? Tell all your buddies the new Spicy Piri Piri Buddies are just $3.99 each. Zip through the drive-thru. They are here for a limited time only at A&W.
Sounds like good eating today, I'll tell you that much. Maybe a little afternoon sop-up, hey, of the old gut.
Let's get to your text. Here's the two options for text of the day today, Rick. YouTube Trev and Lieutenant Eric's voice must have run away together.
I remember that one.
That's a good one.
Seems like such a long time ago.
And then the other one was, hey, Usher, the 80s called. They want their Michael Jackson back. We're going with the voice, aren't we?
Yeah.
I got it. All right, Lacombe Drew. Or Lacombe Drew?
Lacombe
Drew, congratulations, buddy. You've won a gift certificate to A&W. Get your hands on one of those new Spicy Piri Piri Buddies. YouTube Trev and Lieutenant Eric's voice have run away together. That is pretty good. I like that. What are we watching tonight, buddy? What do you got on the go tonight?
Raptors back on the court. They are taking on, Wemby, if he's still in the lineup there. Spurs, Raptors tonight from the T-Dot. Busy night in the NBA. NHL tonight. Few games to keep an eyeball on as well. With a
Out-of-town scoreboard watching.
Western, opponents. Now the Flames, as I mentioned, winners of 4 in a row. They'll look to make it 5 straight. They are on Broadway, I do believe, taking on the Rangers. Kraken in New Jersey. Vegas as well at home to Minnesota this evening. And the Coyotes in Philly to round out your 4 games.
I've had on, I'm going through all the Avengers movies again. Just when I'm doing work, when I'm doing work, you know. I like to do work. I'll throw them on. And I'm on Age of Ultron right now. Interested to see how this ends again. We got the Hangout coming up. It'll be The Godfather, T-Roy, Matty Iwanek.
Hangout debut?
Hangout debut. Well,
kind of.
Matty Iwanek, your brother. He's coming late? Oh, okay. What a responsible parent.
Did you already do that?
What's
Troy's been there.
Troy's
done that.
already
He's
dropped his kids off.
Yeah.
And what about Tommy Gazzola? Oh, okay. So Tommy Gazzola is here relatively close to being on time.
Not bad.
I'll give him credit for that.
And he asked us.
Trev, you can't say anything. Look at Trev's looking at his wristwatch like, Tommy's late today? Interesting. Hey, Trev, you're the Tommy now. You know what? Just come in tomorrow morning at like 3 and make up for it. That'll work out okay. All right, this is a great setup here at Century Casino. If you're around Fort Road, you want to swing by for some lunch, we're going to be sitting up here. We got all our content, hangouts coming up for the next couple of hours. Stick around. Head to a little Whale and the Wolf on the station feed at TuneIn or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. If you're on YouTube, turn on autoplay. That'll take you right on over to the Hangout, which will probably be fired up. What, Maddie? 5-10 minutes? Yeah, we just got to flip a couple mics around, then we good to go. Hangout's going to be a fun conversation today. Huge shout out to Renee and everybody here at the Century Casino for setting this up today. It's extremely well lit. It's been it's a great day.
Oh, yeah.
Eric, good job, man. I wasn't sure you'd get through this one today.
Oh, I've been worse.
You've done it. I
feel great.
All right. For Zach Tacum and Matthew Iwanek, who showed up on time and worked really hard today. YouTube Trev, who's just taking it. And Lieutenant Eric, I'm Dustin Nielsen. Hangouts coming up. Tell your friends about Edmonton Sports Talk. Have a great day and take it easy.